Stepped into days and that shit's so wild, where chaos rules and sanity's exiled. Tech toys and gadgets fill the air. Superheroes talk without a care. In this realm of wires and light, late night sessions feel so right. Insanity's dams we all embrace, a smile found on every face. Dave's Dimension, here we roam, a place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray, superheroes light the way. Dave's Dimension, here we roam, a place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray, superheroes light the way. Unbox the wonder, see them shine. Every spark a moment in time. Gadget speaking in mystic tones, Dave's world where the unknown's known. Chaos reigns with vibrant glee, insanity's harmony set us free. From gadgets grand to heroes tall, Dave's Dimension answers the call. Dive deep into the pixel sea, unveil secrets so free. With techniques the fantastic sprawl, Dave's name echoes in the hall.
That's right, guys. Welcome back again in Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another Tuesday Night Talks live stream. Welcome back to the channel. This is your home for tech, toys, and talk. And, of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again. Guys, I didn't think this was going to happen. I was a naysayer. I will admit it. Last week, the numbers were not looking that great. The numbers were not looking great for the, for the Haslab, for the ECTO. We were like, what, around 7,000? 7,000 and change, and then suddenly it started climbing. It started climbing out of nowhere. The Haslab team, even I had criticisms about what was going on. They had Geek Dad Light. They had Yes Have Some. They had, Jason from GB News on. And it just didn't seem like any of that was stirring things up. And then there was a very cool little video done with Matt Cardona, a pro wrestler / collector himself. He is infamously known as being a toy collector. He did a very cool video. He was very jazzed. You can feel the energy from him. And then suddenly we started getting more and more numbers. Whether that's a coincidence. Also, a big shout out to Nerd Affiliated. Ramblin' Nerd himself, Anthony, did a great video with Ectotech talking about Tuna Box. I don't know if, the sparking of people getting, the people getting their eyes on Tuna Box, and then also talking up the ECTO-1 Haslab, did that help push it along the way? Who knows? We don't know. I personally, I love to speculate, but I'm just glad that it funded. Not only did it fund, but we're looking at some pretty good numbers, but there's a little bit of confusion here, and we're going to bring up a few things. First off, let's go ahead and pull up the chat. We got Aaron himself, KBG, Colbane Games, popping up in the chat on a Tuesday night. What is up, my friend? Giving us a little dad party. You can't see, you just see elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. We also have, of course, I'm saying right back at him, hey, KBG. Ultra Carzilla is popping up in the chat. In the house, what's up, everyone? Everyone, good to see you. And then he goes on to say, I will always say this, Davey boy. I still wish WWE gave you the rights to the Bobby Roode's glorious theme to use in your intro. And I did respond back. One of these weeks, I will play the intro just for you, my friend. I will do an intro. I'm not monetized, so I mean, if I get dinged, I get dings, you know? Hey. I will do that for you because you are always here every week. Week in and week out, you're always here, so I will be doing that one of these weeks. Glorious, no, I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. I believe those are the lyrics to the Rude song. And I will defend, I will define. Yeah, there you go. Anyone got anything last week? Because I sure as hell got a ton of new Halo figures from Jazzwares. You know what? At this point, Jazzwares should look at you and say, hey, here's a promo code. You know, be an official representative of us, because you talk up Jazzwares every single time you get, because obviously you love the product and you're buying the product left and right. So, you know, give it a little, a little promotion. You know, seriously, why not? You know, that's the thing. A lot of people have been complaining about promotions, promo codes, or being affiliated with this company or that company. Give it to some of the smaller YouTubes, you know? A lot of people have been chiming on that. A lot of people have. We got Baz in the chat. Dark Lycan saying, hey, Dave in chat. What is up? Everyone's saying hello back. So, yeah, again, we are streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and the almighty Facebook. We'll see if we get anyone chiming through. By the way, guys, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that red button. Hit that bell for notifications. This channel, we cover anything and everything. The only thing we don't do is we don't push agendas. No politics. No touting of, you know, there's this day and age, there's a lot going on in the world. And we're not contributing to that. We're not contributing to a lot of the, what's the right word I'm looking for? A lot of the agendas, if you will. We're about collecting. We're about tech, you know, GoPros, 3D printing. Do you guys think I have a problem here? Look at all these rolls of filament I have here. Do I think I have a 3D printing problem? Perhaps. Yes, those are empty shelves you see behind you. Don't worry, stay tuned for a future video. You'll see exactly what I'm doing with them. Stay tuned. But let's go ahead. There's a lot we need to discuss. The Haslab. So here we are. We're right on Haslab Pulse. Now, here's something interesting. And I'm not the person breaking this news. Good friend of the channel, Hey Vern from Oakhurst Studios. He actually dropped a video a little earlier today. Let me pull it up. Discussing the numbers when it comes to YouTube. Or not YouTube, but Hasbro. Let's see if I can pull up Vern. Oakhurst Studios. Here we go. So Vern just dropped this very cool video. I actually liked it, and it's not negative. So I heard someone say that they thought it was negative. I don't think it's negative at all. Here we go. Oakhurst. He also does the Toy Duos team every Saturday afternoon. Here we go. Talking about the numbers. Now, we're not gonna play the audio. We're not gonna play anything, but this is definitely worth a look. Talking about number fudging, Hasbro backer numbers, not what they appear to be. Okay? Now, this is definitely worth a look, guys. Vern goes into detail, and he's not just blowing smoke. Okay? He's not blowing smoke. He actually brings up a very serious fact. Okay? Now, here we go. On the website, it says 1,251 backers, right? Now, earlier, it was showing 15,000. Now, if I go to the app, and I'm going to go to the app right now. Okay, now it looks like it's going to match up. Yeah, now about 30 to 40 minutes ago, it was actually showing 15,000. It's almost like different, I don't know, it's like different links. There's a little bit of dispute on people on the West Coast seeing 15,000 and people on the East Coast seeing 17,000. Now, earlier, it actually showed a different number. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. Now, in fact, I left a comment on here. Let me see if I can pull up my comment. on his video. That's weird. It's not letting me pull up my comment now. No, there it is. So yeah, I said right here, 15,177 on the East Coast on the website. App reads 17,251. Maybe cancellations, international orders, or who knows. Hasbro has had their own share of controversy lately. And that's the honest truth. They really have. But apparently now the numbers are matching up. But that's something to keep an eye out of. There has been the controversy going back to 2023 about maybe incorrect information with shareholders. There's a lot to be discussed, but we're not going to talk about that. That's for a different day and time, guys. But we're here to talk about the Haslab, okay? I am over the moon. I seriously thought last week we were not going to make it. I thought this was going to be a misery stream. That's where I was. That's where my thoughts were. I was seriously of that mindset. Okay, what I'm looking for, I cannot find. Okay, no, there we are. Asthma, bad weather. But I am beyond stoked about this Haslab. Okay? Our first time getting an ECTO-1 in a 12-inch figure, or 1/12 scale ECTO. I think it's beyond amazing. And I want to say hello. Welcome to the stream. Is it Cicarlo or Chicarlo? I apologize if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Welcome to the stream. We are discussing the latest Haslab, the glory that is the ECTO-1. Whether you're going to display as an ECTO-1 or ECTO-1A, the fact of the matter is we are getting a majestic vehicle. Okay? Whether you back the regular or the deluxe, by the way, full disclosure, I did the deluxe. Because, I mean, why not? For, what, $75 more, you're getting a full set of figures. You get 1, 2, 3, 4. On average, Hasbro sells their figures roughly around $24-25, if not more. So that's $100 right there. So for $100 worth of figures, for only paying $75 more, and we're getting a ton of accessories. We get each one of them gets the particle streams for the proton packs. We get Lewis Tully. We get Slimer. We get the library ghost, as most people call her, or the Gray Lady. We get 2 slime blowers with the slime effects. The boys in their charcoal suits. I mean, if you are a Ghostbusters fan, but you never started a collection, with this, you can start a collection. Not only do you get all those figures, the accessories, but you get the ECTO-1, and this ECTO-1 is going to have sounds and lights. I cannot stop talking about it. I mean, this is something we never thought would happen. There are a lot of people out there who have tried to start their own ECTO-1s through 3D printing, maybe molding or shaping, doing their own little renditions of it. But it has funded, guys. The goal was 12,000, which was pretty high for a Ghostbuster Haslab. But by the end of the day, 17,251, we surpassed it by at least 5,251 orders. Give or take, you might see a few less ones, because you might see people's credit cards that, insufficient funds. Who knows? You might see overseas, we might get a boost. Who knows? I gotta say hello to this man. We just mentioned Nerd Affiliated and the real Nerd Busters, and definitely you should check out the video that Rambling Nerd did with Ectotech, where they went over the tuna box. And not only did they do tuna box, but they compared it with the Maddie collectors, which I thought was a very awesome video. You guys should definitely check it out. All you have to do is go to Nerd Affiliated. Archer, if you want, you can go ahead and drop some links in the chat if you want. Everybody in the chat is a mod, so if you guys have your own links, please go ahead and drop your links to your channels, to your content, to whatever you got going on. Please feel free to do so. let us catch up on the chat. And by the way, if anyone wants to join me, the link is in the description below. So just click on that and pop into the stream and, give me a few seconds to catch my breath. So what do we got going on here? We got my brother from another mother, Dre, the collector safe space, saying yo yo while he's at work. He must be on break. Sorry, I'm late. Was watching Lower Decks. Listen, when you're watching the Lower Decks, you don't need to apologize. If anyone out there is a Star Trek fan, or you just love really great, smart comedy, Lower Decks is an animated take on Star Trek. They do deep dives. If you are a Trekkie, you will love Lower Decks. There's crossovers, there's Easter eggs, there's cameos from all generations of Trek. You guys are definitely missing out, and this is the last season of it, so go ahead and check it out. Paramount Plus. I am not affiliated with it. We got Dre, Ultra Carzilla saying, hey to everybody. People are getting some shipping label notifications right now. Oh, for Two in a Box, yes. If you're gonna say people are getting notifications for the ECTO, I was about to have words with you. I was about to have words. Nerd Affiliate says thanks for the plug. Anytime Nerd Affiliated. But no, seriously. I will say this: Archer and Rambling Nerd, the whole team at the Real Nerd Busters, aka Nerd Affiliated, they have been on top of all the Ghostbusters news lately. Whether it is just local Ghostbuster groups across the country, sharing their content, they have been on top of the Two in a Box. No, they did not get Two in a Box, but Ectotech was nice enough to share the unboxing experience with them, and they did a very awesome comparison between Matty Collector and the Two in a Box. I know some people feel that the PKE for the Two in a Box feels a bit chunky, probably because of the guts that have to be in there. Now, me personally, I've never had the Matty Collector. I've never had Two in a Box. Well, not yet anyways. It's coming soon. But all I've ever had was just the Spirit Halloween. It's my go-to. And I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, my PKE that I'm getting for Two in a Box, I'm probably going to keep in the collection here. Because as someone who does cosplay Ghostbusters all the time, when you're at events, you're letting someone hold it, or you're letting a kid hold it where you're posing for pictures when you're raising money. It's one of those things where, do you want to really risk a $200 prop in the hands of a 5-year-old? Or someone who, maybe they have bad coordination and they drop it. Are you going to chance that? No. You're probably going to want to keep that in your collection. So I'm still going to be rocking my old Spirit Halloween. I've had this thing probably, 3 or 4 years maybe? I've had this Spirit Halloween PKE 3 or 4 years. It's been dropped, kicked. It's got its own natural weathering by now. I weathered it originally, but it's got its own scuffs and cracks and everything else. I'm more likely to have, I'm more than happy to have a $20, $30 Spirit Halloween prop on my belt and let people knock into it, drop it by accident. I'm going to feel better about that than if I were dropping a Matty Collector, or if I was dropping the Two in a Box PKE. I know people who rock the Matty PKE, but they almost never take it out of the holster. That's respect. But if you're someone who likes to take out the prop and let people hold it for a picture, you're probably going to want to go with the more cheaper stuff, So that's just my take on the whole thing. Let's see here. Let's catch up. Jay saying, hey, chat. Hey, how does it feel now that it's back? Oh, man, it is a sigh of relief. It's a sigh of relief, but also one of my credit cards is like, can I breathe? So I'm stoked. I seriously was of the mindset last week. I was dead set that I'm like, it doesn't look like it's gonna fun. I wasn't one of those people cheering that it was hoping it would not fun. I was one of those people that was in a funk, that was a little depressed. Well, maybe not depressed, but down in the dumps, because it looked like in the beginning, like, oh, they came out with this amazing ECTO-1, and and I know someone who has actually seen it up close in person, and they kept telling me, you have no idea. The pictures do not do it justice. This is what I've been hearing from people. The pictures do not do it justice. You have to see it in person, and you're going to be even more blown away. So when you hear someone give a testimonial like that, okay? When you hear someone give a testimonial like that, I mean, what can you say other than, I mean, to have that kind of a, I mean, that's what we want to hear, you know? That's the kind of stuff we want to hear. We want to hear how amazing it sounds, you know? We want people to just shout. We want people to cheer. We want to hear that kind of stuff. We want to hear how amazing it is. I mean, it would be cool if we could hear the siren. I'm curious how well the siren is going to sound, but I get it's a prototype, okay? It is a prototype, but take a look at those pictures, though. I mean, not necessarily these pictures. Don't get me wrong. These pictures look fantastic. But some of the up-close photos we saw, I mean, they look amazing all onto themselves. I mean, let me see if I can pull some up. I have some in my little box. See if I can pull up some of the images I pulled off of hold on. I'm probably going to have to pull it up a little bit later. But I mean, that's the thing. There you go. Nerd affiliated. Let me highlight. This is the video in question, guys. So go ahead and click on that in the chat. That is the 2 in a Box review. So go ahead and check it out. Share it to all your social media, your Instagram, your Twitter. Sorry, I will not call it the X. I refuse to. It's, you know, when you call it the X, it sounds like something like you know, your ex-boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, you know? Well, yeah, I'm about to post on the X. What? No, I'm always going to call it Twitter, guys. I will always call it Twitter. So share it on Twitter, Instagram. There's so many different social medias now. Wherever you post, please share it out to everybody. Let's see. Archer says, I'm planning on taking the spirit stuff to cons. Oh yeah, the spirit stuff is a safe bet. Now Archer, you actually have a spirit proton pack too. So the thing is with the spirit proton pack, it's so much lighter. A spirit proton pack, even the full size ones, they retail for what, $250 now? And then your electronics. But that's the thing. You're not gonna cry spilled milk over that like you would with a Haslab proton pack, or even a scratch built proton pack. You know, at least you know it's a solid plastic shell. If you break, you can always fix and repair it. There's always ways to do that. So Spirit is a safe way to go. I have a Spirit trap that I heavily modded to look like a real trap as best as I could. Now, the pedal doesn't look screen accurate. Or, what about the popcorn bucket traps? Those are very lightweight. Yeah, you drill a little V-hook on it. You have it on your belt. Bob's your uncle's very lightweight. It's not going to be the real trap, so you don't have to worry about it. I have an extra V-hook, extra Hasbro V-hook from one I broke. I hope it fits the trap V-hook. Well, only one way to find out, right? We'll find out eventually, very shortly. Archer's laughing. There you go. What do you think? Where do you think we go from here? Another Haslab? Well, funny that you mentioned that. Let's see here. Now, I did put out there, I wanted to know who had actually funded it. Did you back it? I'm curious to hear anyone in the chat who might have actually backed this. Now, obviously, I did. Okay? Now, where do we go from here, Archer's asking. Where do we go from here? There's a few things we could do. I know a lot of people and their grandmother have been wanting an 84 pack. I think an 84 pack is doable, especially since they already have the shell. They already have the inner workings for the Spengler pack. You can do the same thing, just clean up the shell, right? And you can make it easily look like an 84 pack. But I think we can revisit 84 maybe in 2 or 3 years. I think moving forward, what if we did real Ghostbusters? And the reason I bring that up is because of Mondo. Mondo is kind of given a resurgence to the real Ghostbusters. And those who aren't that familiar with the real Ghostbusters, it was a cartoon from the 80s about basically showing the potential exploits of the Ghostbusters after the first movie. See if we can zoom in here. So this would be an interesting take on the pack. Obviously, we could have the 3 cyclotrons light up. We could have the meter light up, which I think would be really cool. We could have the 3 yellow lights lighting up. You can even you can have the same kind of venting effect, although you don't have the end filter here. The wand is going to be completely different. I think it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool to do an 84 pack. Or, sorry, not an 84, but an RGB pack, as we call it. I mean, the trap is a little bit smaller. Could you imagine if they could actually do a RGB PKE? An RGB 2 in the box. Give us the pack first. But what was cool was you could actually hang the trap on the pack and then hang the foot pedal and the cord right on the hook on the side of the pack. So, I mean, this is obviously something I think would be a straight win. Now, I will admit, it will be very niche because not everybody is into real Ghostbusters. A lot of people haven't seen it. Again, but I've heard a lot of people say, I've heard Archer say it, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard a lot of people say that the Ghostbuster fans tend to be more of props. They tend to be more into props. But I think an RGB pack would be pretty cool. I've heard people suggest, oh, what about jumpsuits? No, Hasbro is not a clothing company, okay? They're a gaming company and a toy company second, okay? They're not going to give us jumpsuits. If you want jumpsuits, go to like Suits USA, go to, was it Mangolier? I always mess up their name. There's a lot of other groups out there where you can get the suits made, okay? I even know someone who's made his own suits. So those are easily done, but I could see, I think as far as props, we can go this way, or we can go GB2. We can get the Geiger meter. We can get a lot of different accessories. What if you, I know people have joked about a dancing toaster. A lot of people want an RTV trap, the remote control trap from Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire. There's a lot of different things you can do or where you can go with it. Could we see more figures? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say flat out right now, no. I'm not going to see anything figure related because the next thing progression wise would be a firehouse, and I can't see them making a 1/12 scale firehouse. It would be frigging huge, okay? If we had a firehouse, it would be sitting on my desk and probably going well past my monitors. This thing would be humongous. It would take up my entire desk. I mean, the ECTO-1 is obviously going to take a good chunk of my desk, potentially speaking. It's like 23 inches long. The firehouse, realistically, to scale, I'd say at least 40 inches, maybe 50 or 60, maybe even 75 inches long it would have to be. It would have to be huge. It's something that's going to take up a lot of space. I can't see them realistically doing it because what's the price point going to be? $700? I can't see them going that high. I think the most expensive Haslab we've seen is $400 or so, right? So I just can't see that happening. But I can see another Proton pack. Do a real Ghostbusters Proton pack. I think that would be cool. I mean, hell, even with if you did a reissue of the Afterlife pack, but you had the yellow bumper where you can slide on and maybe a little part where you can swap out from the regular ion arm. In case you're not familiar with the iron arm, this is the iron arm, that block that kind of sticks out. There's more of a curved one that is in that's on the Frozen Empire packs at the end of the movie with the yellow thong bumper, as people like to call it. I mean, that's an easy mod. I've actually 3D printed the part myself. I just have to get around to actually doing it on my Haslab. I'll be doing videos on that. But see, that's the thing. It's like we're probably going to be looking at props. But there's not a whole lot of props that we can really pursue. That's the thing. Now, in the real Ghostbusters, there's a ton of props we can do. There's a ghost bomb, a little ghost grenade. There's the ghost beacon from, Extreme Ghostbusters. Me and some friends we were talking about, we would love to see an Extreme Ghostbusters proton pack and some of that gear. So there is, but see, with that, you're getting more and more niche. And that's the problem is, okay, the Ghostbusters, at first, the fans, it looked like, okay, wow, we're going to jump on this, and then it lost steam. It got, the well kind of dried up. Whether it was timing, whether it's finances, call it fate, call it karma, call it whatever. That's the thing. We can come up with 100 different excuses as to why it stalled. But the fact of the matter is, as a company, they decided to run it at that point in time. If we get another campaign for a Haslab for Ghostbusters, and it's being run at a time that some people think doesn't work out for them, it might not work out for them, but it might work out for other people. We have to look at it from every and all angles. We can't just say, oh, it's a black and white matter. No, it's not. There are 50 shades of gray, Gigi. There are different ways. You have to look at every angle. Just because it's not working out for you doesn't mean it's not going to work out for 1,000 other people. That's the thing. You have to look at it from obviously they're looking at it from a business standpoint. From what I look at it, I'm looking at it this way. They're pushing it towards the end of October like they did before. But we know Hasbro has not had the numbers that they've wanted to have. So maybe they thought, hey, we're going to raise up the numbers. This is going to be a little bit of a larger number, but we're going to push on it, but we're going to bank on them having FOMO and jumping at the last moment. And we're going to get those orders in. We're going to get that money in before the end of our fourth quarter. They got the money. They funded it, and they went past the funding. So that's a win for Hasbro, obviously. So Ultra Carzilla says, since I'm not a big Ghostbuster person, I did not back it. The other reasons are space and money, especially space. My friend, you are preaching to the mother-loving gospel right now, okay? Let's be honest. This was the year of the damn vehicle. How many different friggin' Batmobiles came out this year? McFarlane's been churning out Batmobiles. I mean, there's still the Turtle Van and the Thunder Tank and so many other vehicles out there that came out this year or that were coming out the past year and then just getting into the hands of people. Castle Grayskull, Eternia play sets for Motu. I mean, just space and space and space and space. I mean, my shelves right now are bare because I'm trying to make more space for things. Okay? I'm trying to make space for my packs and for my tuna box that's coming in. Space is the name of the game. Unless you have an entire wing of a house you can dedicate, space is a big factor. One of my good friends has an amazing, amazing collection. He has like separate rooms that are used for collections. He has a basement. He has this amazing room, and he's actually selling a good portion of his stuff to make room for new stuff. That's the thing is, collectors, we're always kind of shifting our collections. You're like, hey, I really like this stuff, but you know what? I'm going to move over into this direction now. And that's kind of the thing that we have to do. Space is the name of the game. Archer says it right there in the chat. Right there in the bottom of the chat, he says, space is the name of the game. It really is. I mean, as collectors, we kind of have to look at, okay, well, I really want this figure, but, it's going to take up so much space. People ask me, Dave, you love X-Men. You love Marvel. Did you get that Sentinel for $174? Hell to the no. I did not. And there's the man, the myth, the Space Master Extraordinaire, president of the McFarlane Vehicle Fan Club. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
can you hear me right? I'm in a different location.
Yeah, I can tell. No, but we can hear you.
Right.
He's in the bathroom. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, I have a flat screen TV mount in the bathroom.
I mean, if it's a man cave,
I joke about that, but then actually, in the year 2024, I don't doubt there are people who have flat screens in the bathroom.
I mean, think about it. I mean, what was it? The movie Ed TV with McConaughey. He's
Oh,
got that hamper with the mirror on it, so he can see the reflection of the TV in the other room. So I mean,
hmm hmm
just put like a little, like a Kindle or a cheap little tablet. Got your good Wi-Fi. You can watch your shows while you take a dump. It's a thing.
Oh, there's something else where the person had like they were in a pub playing PlayStation, and they had a mirror reflecting the TV from the other room.
I mean, in this day and age, I mean, we got little LCD screens built into people's sunglasses now, so anything's possible.
Yeah, sure.
It would have been better if it was called Skynet instead of X.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, we already know Elon Musk is a Bond villain, and we already know he has his eyes set on Hasbro, but that's a completely other discussion. So I mean, I'm not putting it past anybody. But we got Duffman saying, "What's up?" Duffman's in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Okay, everyone's saying hello to everybody else. Rolando's in the chat. Everyone's saying hello, hello, hello to everybody. So yeah, Space's naming game. Mega Dan collects in the chat. Welcome back, Mega Dan. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's been the year because I'm glad you came on, because it really has been the year of vehicles. So what do you do? What do you do? I mean,
Buying them and keep putting them in boxes.
do you unbox it, put it back in the box, and maybe hang on to it? Like, well, you know what? It's cool and all. I'm kind of glad I picked it up, but I really don't have the way to display it. So do I flip it now?
Mm.
Because I mean,
there are like people who do that. I was talking to somebody today. He said another ghosted person. He said he sold his Apple Watch to buy a 3D printer. So like, yeah, people are doing it with lots of things. It's starting with a got to different this.
I still have this in the box. The Kenner reissue.
There's a new one in Target, by the way.
So I still have that. But I'm actually, now I picked that up for like $24, I think.
Mm.
And I've had that probably for about 6 or 8 months. But what I'm thinking is because I'm redoing my shelves, kind of what I did with my, all my Marvel Legends, I put them on the garage shelving. Made a ton more space, but the shelving I'm putting back here is actually 24 inches deep.
Wait, go to full screen because you can't really see it.
Let's see. Hold
Or if
on.
you use full screen with us.
Let's do this. And we also have Baz in the chat.
There you go. Put Baz.
Good morning or good evening, depending on what part of the world
So,
you're.
just to show you guys, like, I have my bookshelves right here, right? All this is going to be gone because they're only about 25 inches wide and about 11 inches deep. So I'm going to go from 11 to 24. So just think about that as far as space. Okay?
Did you buy new shelves already?
Oh yeah, they're coming in tomorrow. In fact, thank the Walmart gods.
Oh.
Because what I got coming in, let me fix this. There you go. Stupid dog. There you go. So what I have coming in was very much like the garage shelving I did before, but I scored 2 of them for like a $90.
Ooh.
When usually you can get like one for 130. So I lucked out. I mean, they're cheaply made, yes. And I'm not going to go like the full, like I did the microfiber sheets and everything, wrapping it around. I'm just going to spray the wood black, flat black. It's just going to make things simpler. But what I'm doing is, I got 2 of those, 24 inches deep, because it'll support a proton pack sitting on the guitar stand. So I plan to have 2 of my packs in plain view. Maybe the space above, that's where I'm going to have the PKE in the trap displayed. So I'm working on a few different things. But I mean, yeah, I'm always about looking around for like where are some cheap options. But I mean, with my one garage shelf, I fit about maybe 4 cases of figures. like maybe 3 or 4, maybe about 3 to 4 bookshelves worth of figures onto one case. So, I mean, it creates more real estate. So, it all depends on what you're trying to do. But, hey, what's up, Bill? Bill's in the chat.
Baz, did you back the ECTO?
I didn't, unfortunately. Money on my side.
Yeah.
Space and money. You know, it's the holidays. It's the mother-loving holidays. What are you going to do about it? I mean, there's this... I mean, personally, I still say it was a bad time of year. But everyone and their grandmother has their own arguments. I think that had they would have done it in the summertime, I think it would have went better. You know? Because also, I mean, you had Frozen Empire came out in March. We had Ghostbusters Day in June. They're at we had the Haslab team there. You know? We had them there showing off 2 in a box. So, I mean, plus they're rocking the shirts, the pins. You've heard me say this 1,000 times. It would have been a perfect way to announce it, especially since they had Ectos right there. But hey, fact of the matter is, I was convinced last week it was not going to fund. I was so convinced it was not going to fund that I was looking at like, okay, well, I'm going to feel pretty lousy about this. What do I want to get myself for Christmas instead?
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, there's some Hot Toys I'm looking at right now. But, yeah, no. But fortunately, the Ecto, we're going to get a 1/12 scale Ecto. A 1/12 scale.
I know
with
that's
lights and
the last
sounds.
couple of weeks, Dave, so I'm kind of glad you managed to now acquire one without any hassles.
Oh, and see, that's another thing is, as I'm redoing my shelves, do I block off a specific area just for that? Or do I just restructure everything once I get it a year from now? Because they are projecting fall of 25.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what that means. December 16th of 2025. Because remember, there was a post, and I think you mentioned on your stream Thursday that technically speaking, fall goes to December 15th, as per Haslab.
As for Emily.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. She's an employee of Hasbro, and I'm sure Hasbro says, well, if you make any references, this is what is actually technically deemed as fall. I mean, personally, I think fall is like up until Thanksgiving. Then it's like it's Christmas time. It's the holidays. You might as well just call it winter. But I mean, fall is relative wherever you are. I mean, here in Buffalo, New York, we could get snow in the first week of October. So but I'm in Archer. I know you're going to be living vicariously through the other Nerd Busters. So you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Anthony's the only one that bought it.
Huh?
Technically, Anthony's the only one that bought it. This is the first time that only one of us in the group.
But see, you know what that is? That's justification to go visit Anthony more often. There you go. There you go. But now here's the real question. For those who do have it, or those who know someone who has it, or if you just want to play the guessing game. Now, here's the real question. Let's put it up there. How do you display it? Do you display it on a shelf, in a case, in a diorama? Do you display it as an ECTO-1 or a 1A, or do you want to try and do a hybrid of them both? That's the question.
That's a good point. How would you kind of display that?
And I want everyone in the chat to participate too. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. What do I mean by a diorama? Well, I have a diorama. It does pretty well. It's not perfectly to scale with a 6-inch figure, but I have a diorama made by Duffman. And I was thinking of doing that, but I'm like, wait a minute. The Ecto's too damn long for it. So I'm going to have to do something else. But that's the diorama I use for my figures. And it looks pretty close. So, I mean, do you try and create some kind of hypothetically, got my 3D printer, I could try and create a 3D printed facade of the firehouse. to have the Ecto kind of sticking out? Or do I?
They're doing that already.
Huh?
I'm surprised you haven't started printing that already.
I have other projects I have. I have a friend who I am going to be printing a 3D printed 6-inch G.I. Joe classified scale playset.
Oh, the oil rig?
The oil rig one I've talked about.
Yeah.
So I still have to do that, so I won't be doing a firehouse until probably after that, possibly. Unless the logistics of the oil rig just don't work out and I can't do it then. But there are people who have 3D print. In fact, last year, the Buffalo Ghostbusters raffled off. One of the great prizes that was raffled off, or that there was a drawing for, was a 3D printed firehouse. You know, there are plans out there. You go to the right Patreons, you can get access to the files and print it yourself. So, I mean, you can do it in RGB colors. You can do it in, movie colors. You can do it in anything. So, I mean, that would be... I'd have to get rid of another bookcase with that one. I mean, that... or maybe I display right on my workbench here. I mean, it's something to do. I mean, I've seen people with the Lego stands, or with the Lego vehicles, like even the Ecto or the DeLorean from Back to the Future. There's little stands you can get. There's plexi glass stands you can get, so you can have the vehicle angled, so you can kind of see it from different angles. Do you do something like that? I mean, I know people who have got like the Blitzway, that big massive metallic, that big massive die casts are the ones that you assemble together. They have Ectos that are just so damn big, but they have it like in a glass case, and that's their damn coffee table in their front rooms.
I've seen that.
I mean, is that how you do it? And if you have it like in a plexiglass kind of or a sealed case, I mean, is that something you just keep locked away there? And I mean, there's a lot of questions. Like me, I'm probably going to have it on a shelf somewhere with the Ghostbuster 2 figures with it. I know that there's going to be a limited life on the decals. But I mean, still, I mean, it's going to be. It's the friggin' Ecto. I mean, I feel the same way some people feel like when it comes to G.I. Joe. With G.I. Joe, there's been, the Firefly. There's the Rattler. I mean, there's a lot of iconic vehicles that have come out now. The Sky Striker, But it's like, you kind of like, with Ghostbusters, we don't have that many large vehicles. We have the Ecto. Unless they decide to do a real Ghostbusters, are they going to give us RGB figures? Someone told me, I said, well, heaven forbid we get an Ecto to go with this.
Yeah.
If they do a real Ghostbusters, if Mondo did a friggin' real Ghostbusters Ecto,
that thing would cost so much money for no reason.
Here, just, I mean, that's the thing. If they did that, and I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility, because I will say this: Thunder Tank, the Turtles Party Wagon, the Eternia play sets that they have done.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying that
the Cat's Lair,
the price point that they created with their stuff is going to make it. I mean, I guess I said this about the Hasbro one, but it's going to be ridiculously expensive because the Thunder Tank is probably the closest in size, I guess. And that thing was $450, or when it was brand new, I think. So, if Mondo pulls a Mondo, they're going to try to get it closer to 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I know Mondo done Battle Cat, and I think that goes for about $500 to $600.
Yeah.
That thing is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. According to Sideshow, they're selling theirs for like $484, but I think I've seen it for less.
Yeah,
$349 right now on Big Bad Toy Store for a Super 7.
Yeah.
For the Super 7 Thunder Tank. I mean, if it's gone down now, originally it was a lot more than that, guys. So if it's gone down to $350, how about we just wait a little bit longer?
So that's what people were saying was going to help get the Ecto over the line, was places like Big Bad doing big orders, no pun intended, to have in their store. Same with the Sentinel, and that's at this point I'm like, oh, maybe me not getting either works out, because if they did get a huge order and they can't
Take a
sell
look at
them,
that.
it
Super
goes away
7.
as a Thunder Tank and then eventually goes down in price.
Super 7, 40% off. It's down to $300.
Wow, that's crazy.
Okay? It's down to $300. So, I mean, this is the Super 7 one. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks great and all. You know, it looks great. But you know what? I still love my reissue of the Playmates Party Wagon, which I still have.
Is the NECA one
So-
come out already? I can't remember.
The NECA, I don't know if it did or not.
I feel like they were both coming out. They were going to drop at the same time, and I think the NECA one, if it did, put a kibosh on the sale of that one.
Yeah, but you know what happens? People are going to think it was buy one, get one, and then they get sued by NECA too soon.
No, it's okay.
Let me see here. $319 on eBay.
Yeah, that's it.
See, this one I think looks more close to the cartoon.
It does, yeah.
I think this looks a little too high, but hey, you know, it's a cartoon. But the thing is, it doesn't look like it really moves that well. You know?
How are you going to move that?
But hey. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, imagine if they did an RGB Ecto. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't light up. But at least that's the thing with Hasbro, I will say. When they do a Haslab, they do it in the minds of some of the fans, especially when it comes to Ghostbusters. They know we're going to modify it.
Mm-hmm.
They know we're going to do stuff to this one. Oh, they know we're going to do stuff with this one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you might be saying, well, what can you do? Well, we know it's going to have the siren. We have the lights in there. But what if we did something else? I mean, I could see someone trying to maybe, I don't know, replace the side door so that you get an afterlife mod to it. Or we come up with some mods to create the dome on top of the rack so you can have a Frozen Empire Ecto-1. And then just do the red stripes going straight down. Personally, I'm not a fan of the red stripes. Or the white stripes. Never been a fan of that band. But, I mean, we know that the fans are going to do stuff. I know Moby Signs is going to be... He's probably at work right now trying to make decals.
Mm-hmm.
Designing stuff for the next year. I mean, I could easily see that. Like, personally, like, okay, the caution striping we have on the Ecto-1A, right? Guys, they already sell reflective caution tape on Amazon. How hard would that be to do a set like that for the Ecto? Because that would just elevate it just slightly. You know, it's a slight little elevation, but it's an elevation nonetheless. But, I mean, personally for me, I'm probably going to display it. I'm going to take pictures as Ecto-1 and 1A. But I think when it comes down to it, I'm probably going to have it mostly as 1. Because the blue headlights, the blue roller lights on there, I mean, to me, that's just so iconic. But with the Ecto-1A, you get the green ones. Nothing against the green ones. And I know people are going to try and swap out those sideboards for real scrolling LEDs. You know it's going to happen because I'm sure you've seen it. People have had, like, some cosplayers have had a little like, it looks like a name tag, but it's a scrolling LED. So how hard would it be to do something like that, to modify it for that?
I think it's a safe assumption, though, that most people who bought the deluxe aren't going to display the 1A if they only have one. It's really, you got the deluxe with all the figures. So I think that one of the things people will find is that there's going to be a lot of 1A parts on, like, eBay and stuff like that. People say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't need them." I mean, people end up with the figures too. But
Well,
you'll probably
I
have
know
a bunch
people
more on
who've been recommending, like, get yourself 2 of the deluxe, because, hear me out, you can flip those figures. You don't have to have 2 sets of the gray figures. You can flip a set.
You know,
Hold up. What was that?
I was saying, I think we talked about it before. Oh no, I think I did it. Excuse me, on my stream this week where I was saying, I don't think that this release is one that's going to flip very well as far as like the figures and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it might cherry pick, but here's the thing. I mean, think about like the Cobra Commander that came. Wasn't there a Cobra Commander, like a retro one that came with the Hiss tank or something like that?
Yeah, but the G.I. Joe fan base is so much bigger.
Yeah. But I mean, if you wanted to make a custom,
yeah,
right? So instead of like, these figures normally would have retailed $25. They're not going to be any kind of special packaging. We know there's just going to be wax paper wrapped with like a little drawstring of some kind and held in a box. You know. Here's the thing, Hasbro. It'd be cool if you had each one in little the little cardboard boxes that they put they include with the the little foot lockers for classified. Just make those. Make one of those for each of the guys, but make it look like they're actual lockers in the firehouse. Give it a little wood graphic finish. That would be a cool way of kind of like, okay, we're not just throwing it in there, but here, a box for each one. You open it up, you got each of the figures in there.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea.
That would be a nice little polish to it. Hasbro, let me know. Hit me up. I have ideas. And my friends have ideas. We don't ask for much. Just the occasional promotional drop for our YouTube channels. What? The small channels. Give us little breadcrumbs, please. Just a little bit.
I know there will be cardboard boxes, but like the folk that like to do like the photography, it would be kind of cool to have the figure next to a locker with the name on it. Like they're going to open up to you thing. It'd be a nice display
Here you go.
as well.
See, like these Foot Locker ones that they do. This will fit a figure. It'll fit a figure right in there.
Well, like he said, have their names on each one too.
Yeah.
You could use it in the display. Yeah, it's a good idea.
And how cool would it be if you had one specifically for Lewis? Slimer, you give him a refrigerator.
Yeah, I was just actually
Okay.
the disclaimer there.
And the library ghost, she gets a book stack.
Yeah.
Maybe a book stack or a door that says "shh, please be quiet," something like that, or something kind of fun like that. It wouldn't cost much, because if you can do this with your classifieds, what is it going to cost just to take the image of each of the lockers from the firehouse and just throw them in there, have them in the wax paper still? Just put them in a little box. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. These boxes get beat up all the time, but it's a nice little polish to it.
See, one of my friends, he just went and picked up his first G.I. Joe, and he was surprised because he thought it would just be the figure in the box plus a little bag with all the weapons in it. He didn't realize it actually come with like a cardboard locker.
Foot Locker, yeah. And to see, that's the thing with the kind of care they take for classified. And I'll be honest. Watching the presentation of the tuna box, it's just, they gave us a nice graphic on the outside, but then it's just 2 straight boxes. One doesn't say trap, one doesn't say PKE. They could have stamped it like that.
Yeah.
And they could have still kept it in the brown boxes, but throw a little bit of something in there.
That's awesome.
I mean, they could have put property of Zetamore Industries or something. Ghost Core Division, They could have thrown something like that, but I mean, the 2 boxes, they look identical. And I get that one of the boxes will have the foot pedal or the hose for the trap. But I'll say this, out of all the unboxes I've seen so far, the one I've enjoyed the most is the one produced by the real Nerdbusters. Because I'll be honest, it was cool seeing Anthony in a video, sort of. Because I told my wife, I was like, come here, Anthony's in a video. And she was like, who? She was like, huh? She's like, I don't see his face. I say, exactly. He's still in there though. But like him and ECTO-1 were they had a nice little rhythm going on. You know, they had some chemistry. It was enjoyable. It didn't feel like forced like some unboxes I've seen. I won't say any names. But I mean, it was cool them doing the comparison because guess what? Real fans are looking at that and they're like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. We've seen people just straight unbox them, but to actually see the comparison, because we've all talked about the comparison between the Maddies and the Haslabs. Now, I've never had a Maddie stuff, but I know people who do, and they're already talking like, hey, I'm looking at the video, I'm looking at my Maddie PKE. Yeah, I can see a difference, they say. So I like that. Although I really enjoyed Matt Cardona taking a look at the Ecto. That was a real fan. That was real fan reactions. Not to take away from any of the other YouTubers. I won't say any names. I said names earlier. But that's more genuine. And I think something like that gets people more excited.
And technically, there was a boost after that.
What was that?
So technically, there was a boost after that. So whether it was coincidence or not,
Yeah.
it still happened.
I mean, whether it was coincidence or not, it still happened. And I think that's kind of what they need is they need like genuine fans. Yeah. I mean, I said it from the beginning. I would have loved to have seen Logan Kim or McKenna take a look at the Ecto. And I'm sure they would have jumped at it. You know? I'm sure they would have jumped at it or having them take a look at the 2-in-a-box finished product. Because after all, they're the ones that actually, you know, played with the props, used the props in the movie so they could say, wow, wait a minute, this is the 2-in-a-box? This feels just like the one we used in the movie. To hear those kinds of you know, testimonials, I think would have really gone a long way. And we know that McKenna was a Ghostbusters fan growing up as a kid. Well, they both were. So I think you already have people in, you know, actual actors from the genre, from the movies, and they're still fans themselves. You know, I mean, I'm sure they were busy with projects because Logan Kim's been signing up for a lot of stuff. McKenna's pretty busy now. Someone was telling me they heard a rumor about her possibly in running to play Neve Campbell's daughter in the next Scream movie. I don't know how true. I don't know how true that is. I've heard people talk about that. I've heard people talk about was it Celeste? Wasn't it her birthday?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Logan Kim, they talked about him. Somebody posted about him potentially doing Amadeus Cho for.
Yeah, I heard about that one. I know that he's in Walking Dead, City of the Dead, the New York one. And he plays kind of a legacy character that's from the original show, in a way. So I mean, it's cool to see them really branching out, but I mean, I think it would have been cool. They probably could have spared 20 minutes to film something really quick, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously, the Haslab team, they've traveled all over. You know, they traveled, obviously, to Jersey. Because a lot of the videos took place at ECTO-1's garage. I mean, you know, I would have said, hey, you know, you want to, you know, using my studio, so, you know, throw me some extra money or throw me something. I don't know. But to see the Ecto being looked at by Matt Cardona in front of the other Ecto that's kind of like, I mean, how much more can you sprinkle the special stuff over that, man? I mean, that was a cool vibe. That was a cool vibe for sure. Now, what would you?
I'm not going to say that we take credit for this because we not only did we talk about it, but we mentioned. I was going back. I was like, I'm pretty sure we talked about this. It was like 3-4 weeks ago. We talked about them not only going to Rhode Island Comic Con, but also having the ECTO-1 there with
yes
to do a reveal. So I'm not gonna say it was our idea, but
hey, you know, maybe someone overheard something like, wait a minute, that is a damn good idea. Let's do something about that. You know, I mean, well, see, that's the thing. I mean, like I said, every year at GB Day at the firehouse, Ectos appear. Whether they're 59 caddies, whether there's one, or whether there's three, like this past year. I mean, there's going to be people there. What was it? ECTO, Ohio.
Well, we had 4.
No, there was 3 59s.
Yeah, but then you also had the 2016.
The New Jersey, the 2016. I think they had theirs around at some point.
New York.
And of course, there was the Subaru Ecto 716.
And then there was another one that pulled up by where your guys' table was, but I don't remember who drove that one.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. There's always Ectos around. I mean, like that. I mean, obviously, with the Haslab team there, they probably could say, you know what, we should get their contact information.
Yeah.
What they should have done was like, okay, each of the people who have an Ecto, like, hey, here, we would like to meet. Would you be open to doing something in the future? Maybe we'll do. They could have set up something. Because I mean, what's better than having an established content creator, Geek Dad Life? Yes, have some. Obviously Jason from GB News. It was great to see him included because he's someone who works. He works his 9 to 5s. He works his full-time job, and then he spends all his time with the website and doing the news stories himself. So I mean, he works himself a lot. So it was cool to see him being invited to the table.
Especially he's usually not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially since he lives in Canada too. So I mean, it's not so they don't always include that. But like, I would love to see people like Go Speaking, Phil from Go Speaking. I don't know if they've included anyone from Ectoplasm podcast.
Ectoplasm, no.
No, I mean, like those are.
We got to go to the premiere, but that's because he went with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like we would like to see. Now, aside from those big people we mentioned, how about people who aren't YouTubers, who aren't content creators, but you can set like maybe they do the once in a while they'll do like a fundraiser that's a stream and they know how to work a webcam, but like how about like getting an honest person's perspective, I would just like to see more of that realism because that's kind of what we saw with Matt Cardona. Yes, he is a pro wrestler. He is a showman. He knows how to sell things, as it were. As far as like, but that was a genuine fan. I've seen like his videos that he's done in the past where it was like him going toy hunting. That's the kind of stuff we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see that honesty. I mean, that's who I think Hasbro needs to get their hands on is go with different people each time. Change it up. But when you keep seeing the same people, you kind of get like that, oh geez, here we go again. Whether it's like, because, and I'm not knocking these people, but like people like, I've heard people talk about Rocco the Great. I've never really followed him, so I really don't know a whole lot about him. Shartimus Prime and those guys. These are the guys that get drops all the time. Now, I can't say whether these are promotional drops that they don't pay for, or maybe they do. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. They have the followings, and they get a lot of these drops.
One thing I will say about Shartimus is that he has no issue pressing them. Like there's an interview I watched with him, and because he does Marvel Legends, he was talking to the team there, and they were getting frustrated because he was pressing them. He's like, it was especially back when after the Renew Your Vows body was released for Spider-Man, and he's like, yeah, like I don't know why you guys aren't doing more of these, and they were like, well, because X, Y, and Z, and he's like, yeah, but that just doesn't make sense. You should really be making more of those molds if you have the ability to do it. It's funny, in other fandoms, you do have people who get the looks and push back, but on the GB side, you don't really have that.
Well, I think it's part of that is I think some of the fandom. Okay, there's always people, like I've seen a lot of people posting. Obviously, the past couple weeks, every fandom, no matter where you go, whether it's Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel Legends, whether it's wrestling, whether it's WWE or AEW or wherever you go. My Little Pony. I mean, Jesus, Legos. Anywhere you get salty people. I saw posts this past week where there were people who were hoping it would fail, the Haslab.
Mm-hmm.
If you hope and you wish it's going to fail, if it's not your bag of tea, fine. Don't drink that Kool-Aid, okay? Move on to something else. If that's not your bag of tea, but it's someone else's. If it's someone else's jam, let them enjoy it. It's like, well, the old adage, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. But some people just can't resist themselves. Some people, all they have is nothing bad to say, and they thrive on it. And that's a big problem with a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. Ultra Cardizilla says, Hasbro needs to integrate the articulation seen with the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man figures into other agile characters, and MCU Spider-Man figures need to have the articulation styles as well. I mean, yeah, and also that depends on what they're trying to do, their creative difference, their creative views, I guess you would say.
So the reason they said that it's not on everything is they have X amount of molds for everything, and when they're doing a run, so for example, a Spider-Man run, they're like, all right, let's say we only have 4 molds that make that body, but we have 10 Spider-Man figures coming out because of like a movie or something. They have to kind of like pick and be selective on, all right, we only have 4 molds, let's choose these 4 figures. But then on top of that, let's say there's another figure that they really want to push, they'll prioritize that one because they're like, all right, people are going to buy the Spider-Man either way. So, for example, we got that 2-pack with the Vulture. That's the, I think, Superior Spider-Man body, I believe somebody said. It's like, yeah, that to me, if you talk in numbers, that will make sense because people are going to buy that figure no matter what. But it still doesn't mean that it's like a great experience for the collector.
And by the way, who doesn't love sharks? We got Blue Sasquatch in the chat. Hey, Blue, how's it going? Now, here's another question. Among this year's crowdfunding, the crowdfunding and vehicles, which ones have you backed? Crowdfunding or vehicles?
Well, I've only backed from 2 of the box. I haven't backed anything. Or do you mean just in general buying?
Yeah, and either vehicles you just straight up bought or crowdfunding projects that were out there. And the crowdfunding projects don't have to be vehicles. They could be play sets. They could be props. They could be anything out there. Could have been a Kickstarter for an all-in-one ice cooler / tabletop saw, whatever, any kind of crowdfunding out there.
Well, the only vehicles I got were McFarlane. So I got the Tumbler, the 89, the animated series Batmobile.
Okay.
And
I hate you.
Animated series motorcycle. But that was trash. That one was awful. But crowdfunding, I haven't. There's nothing I've backed outside of the Toonwalk, I think.
I don't know if it's still gone, but I'm kind of tempted to get the 30-30 that Ramon Toys is doing.
The 18 vans or the bread vans, mean?
No, they're doing the Brave Star series.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're doing it 30-30 for that. He's one of my favorite characters for that series, so I'm kind of like, do I just go for it or do I wait to see if it does just come out? Because it would cost me.
I don't know how he does those releases on the figures. If they're like he does a run and then there's more extra or there's extra afterwards, or if it's just a pre-order type thing.
It's like a pre-order kind of thing, but I worked it out because it's coming from the States. It would cost me an extra £150 just to get it over. Wow. So instead of 100, I think it was $180 for him or something like that, because all the accessories come with. By the time you put the tax, shipping, and then import tax, it's like an extra £150. So that's what's kind of putting me off it. But I would love to have that figure.
Yeah. Because he did the Centurion figures, but people weren't really raving about those.
I mean,
I do like the mass figures that they're doing, and the mass vehicles that they're doing now. Those things
Yeah.
are.
the Centurions I always wanted as a kid, but I actually never got them. I just thought they were so cool. Or what was it, Sky Commandos? Those two with the zip lining.
Well,
But
Gerald
like,
Kenobi and I actually are collecting the Centurion figures. I have, I think I have 4, but not with all their add-ons. And Kenobi, I think, has 1 complete. But we keep looking out for them when we go to like conventions or whatever. Like, oh, did you find
The
something?
Dave and Archer, do you remember these?
oh geez,
That one I don't know.
I managed to acquire one.
Where's that from?
Sectors.
Ah,
I've been after one for years, and I managed to acquire one.
I mean, it looks like it's in damn good shape right there.
I do have a figure for it, but not the figure for this guy.
You have a Sectars figure, but not the right one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, obviously I backed the Haslab. Well, technically speaking, because we got tuna boxes arriving, whenever it arrives to this area. And Archer, are you tired of seeing the posts like, oh, I got an email about a label being created? I'm half tempted to make a T-shirt. I got an email that a label was created. I'm just tempted to do that, but I'm not going to be that kind of a jackwagon. But I mean, I get people get really excited and they want to be the first one to get it. I'm of the mindset, given our landscape, that I don't mean geographically. I mean just the landscape of like when it comes to YouTubing. Let's face it. A lot of times on the East Coast, you're hardly ever the first to find something.
yeah.
And everybody and their grandmother will do an unbox before you get your chance to. So right now, like a buddy of mine, a friend I know, actually has the tuna box. He's like, I'm surprised you didn't ask to come over to check it out. I'm like, after my first experience with the Haslab, which was the Proton Pack, I was very antsy, impatient about it. And this time around, I'm just like, well, I'll get mine eventually. I'm just like, I'm very chill, very laid back about it. I mean, just me stressing out about it is not going to make it appear at my door any sooner. I'm not going to get it any sooner by me stressing out over it.
I've seen a lot of folk,
It'll happen when it happens.
I've seen a lot of folk posting. Is it the Skeletron that they did from the Action Force line? That thing does look cool, but I've noticed a lot of folk are now starting to receive them.
See, I know of Action Force, but I never bought any of the Action Force, so I'm not really along those lines. I do know there were some pretty cool looking Action Force figures that they had on Hello Dope Toys on clearance, which would actually be, I think they would scale pretty well with like what was the later series of G.I. Joe that they did? Was it Exo Squad or something like that? They look like they would kind of go in comparison to those. So, I mean, they look pretty cool, but I just never got fully into them. And it's like, well, how many lines can you really get into right now? That's another thing for a lot of us is like, we're kind of picking and choosing what we're jumping in on. Oh, Hasbro's going to do this. Hasbro's going to do this. We're going to have another G.I. Joe Haslab, but that'll probably be the next one. Who knows?
See, for us, when we had Action Force, you had the G.I. Joe, so that's one of the bags from Action Force. So you can compare. That was just the 5 points articulation. Then you guys had like the proper.
Yeah, the 3 3/4.
Then when it kind of went from Action Force to G.I. Joe, then you got these guys.
And Archer, by the way, I finally opened him up. I freaking love him.
So good. Such a good figure.
This is probably one of my favorite NECA figures right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, like, I posted a clip today of this guy, Toy Games. He did a video on NECA today.
Okay.
And he's like, part of the reasons why he's like, NECA needs to turn their stuff around is that kind of is what we want from them. Like,
Oh yeah.
you want the not just like the gory type figure.
I
but
mean,
like, things that
he
storyline
actually like
horror.
like having him down on his knees like this when he gets shot up.
Yeah.
He's perfect on there. Like he's
Like, I
evenly
heard
balanced,
Oh, you should this one. It's great.
and it's a great sculpt. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we want. I mean, they do great with their horror figures. Let's be honest. Like I have Pinhead from Hellraiser. I have Jason. I still want to get Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Uh-huh.
Elm Street 3 is one of my favorite movies of all time, especially like the one when he throws the girl into the TV, you know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's one of my favorite figures. I know I'm not going to get my hands on it unless they do like a warehouse, you know, sale of some kind, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like either there's stuff like for some of us, it's the nostalgia that gets us. Ghostbusters hits me on a lot of levels because, well, I love Ghostbusters. It was my kind of humor.
Thanks to you, Dave, because over the last couple of weeks, when you talking about the ECTO-1, kind of went on a mission. So we have charity shops here. We have the boot sale. So I've been on nearly every Saturday, every Wednesday to see if I can find anything Ghostbusters. And I have found a few pieces. So I managed to find 2 Terror Dogs.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
I didn't manage to find.
There you go.
But it's a metal one. It's when they done that. I know it's not. I don't know. A lot of folk don't like these Ghostbusters, but these were only like a couple of quid each, and I just like, you know what? I'll just pick them up.
2016.
Really,
Now,
my nephew.
you know what I actually wanted to get, even though I don't collect wrestling figures, was the wrestling.
I had these ones as well.
Now, Baz, do you need something like this?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen the proper. I love
No.
the proper one.
Baz, this is 3D printed.
And then
Yep. From Answer the Call. Yep.
Actually, we gotta have to fly real quick, but I'll put you in the chat.
Yep. Catch you later, man. Guys, don't forget this Thursday, every Thursday around 8:15ish p.m. Eastern, we have Hey Archer. By the way, Reverend Archer, are we going to have another Sunday service?
I don't know if the Sunday thing will be a regular thing, but maybe on
know.
special occasion.
Yeah, it's a nice little placeholder for Sunday coffee.
Yeah, for Nerd Coffee, yeah.
There you go.
All right, I'll see you later. By the way, you didn't even notice I was wearing a freaking buffalo.
Yeah, BGB, you gotta love it. Be on the lookout because we're always putting up new designs on the shop. Plus, TeePublic's been 40% off lately. So,
see, I've had this guy for a while, right?
Oh, you got Eduardo.
He does, yeah.
Extreme Ghostbusters.
Ghostbuster.
Yeah, do you know that's a hard to find one right there? Eduardo from Extreme Ghostbusters. That's awesome.
I've had this for about 2 years. I didn't realize it was a Ghostbuster until.
Did you ever see the Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon?
Bits and pieces yet, kind of thing, but
because you know what the premise was. It was Egon was still, he was residing at the firehouse, keeping an eye on the containment unit. Everyone went their separate ways. He was a college professor. Okay, he was a college professor, and what happens is he finds out that there's this disturbance that happens in the sewers in the railway station. So what he does is he goes to investigate it, but he has his class only has 3 or 4 students, and he gets badly injured. One of his students is very into goth and macabre, and it turns out that they find out that he was a Ghostbuster, and since he's kind of out of commission, he's very sick, he's got these warts and stuff, that they take it upon themselves to grab the gear, and they kind of upgrade the gear, and they go into the sewers and take on the new big bad. They become the Extreme Ghostbusters. So it's Egon's students. So it was actually it was real fun. It was done in the animation style of the Men in Black cartoon. So if you saw that or the Godzilla cartoon of the early 2000s, it was in that kind of vein. They had the original voice of Egon, Maurice LaMarche, who is also best known for being a Brain from Pinky and the Brain. They did have a 2-part Thanksgiving episode. Ironically, they had all the Ghostbusters come back. So you had Winston, Venkman, Ray come together. Not all the original actors, but they had them come back together. So it was a nice little team up of the two generations, you know? But yeah, Extreme Ghostbusters has always been a big favorite. I almost got my hands on an ECTO-1 because the Extreme Extreme Ghostbusters ECTO-1 looks completely different. Archer says he hated that animation style. I need to give it another try. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Yep, he hated that animation style. Needs to give it another try. But, I mean, that's the thing. Is like, this year, it's like, for people who collect, and like you said, for you, it's hard to collect because not everything, you have your few shops where you are, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you have stuff that is featured, like, most of it is being shipped to the States, and it's not necessarily hitting you until maybe months later, let's just say. Or maybe you get certain offerings that we don't get.
Well, totally. It's just like if you go back with the certain Star Wars figures back in the day, there were certain Star Wars figures that you guys couldn't get because they were only either EU, Europe exclusives kind of thing. So
yeah. And that's the thing. If you're into variants, I mean, that's the whole thing.
It's just like I went to a toy fair back at the end of October. It was the first time I've been to this one, and I've heard a lot of folk talking about, especially folk from my work, because there is a few collectors I do work with. He says, "Oh, you need to try this out," kind of thing. He says, "You might find things, you might not." I have actually been looking for one of these figures, and I know it's not the G.I. Joe that we all grew up with in the 80s, but I did like the cartoon that come out. I ended up picking up one of the G.I.
Oh, okay.
Joe. And I was quite surprised to see that.
I wonder if that was part of the Exo Squad, because they had like was it Exo Squad or Exo Squad 6 or something like that back in the late 90s. They were supposed to be like an environmental squads of the Ghost of the G.I. Joe. Excuse me.
Sigma 6 as well. That was
Sigma 6. That's the one I'm thinking of.
I know Sigma 6 had the original.
That's what I'm thinking of.
It's like these ones. It's like I do. I'm sure I had a knockoff version of Iron Claw.
By the way, Baz, I kind of did something the other day.
Oh, what did you do?
1/6 scale Gambit.
You were talking about that a couple of weeks back. I'm sure you were.
Well, I got the email that he was back in stock.
Why not?
And here's the thing. Now, a lot of people hear about affiliate links. Entertainment Earth, anybody and their grandmother can sign up to be an affiliate. You don't have to have, 1,000 people, 1,000 subscriber channel. You can have a 5 subscriber channel, and you can actually sign up for their affiliate program. And this is all you have to do. Okay, like say here. Okay, if I'm signed into their affiliate program, all I have to do is hit URL, copy the link, open up a new tab, paste. There you go. I have a brand new link in. So I have this pulled up as if I clicked on the link, right? So if I were to throw this in my cart right now, you saw it's $209, right? $209.99. Let's go to checkout. Now you got to figure tax and shipping, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. Right now they have free shipping on $39 or above. There's a Cyber Monday $20 $20 code that's like 1 cent off. Cyber Monday $15 off here. Cyber Monday another $10 right there, right? So it's like $184. So after shipping or free shipping, after sales tax, it's $201. So now, mind you, without all that, it would have been $209.99 plus 8.75% sales tax here in Western New York, in New York State. Okay. So it probably would have been like maybe close to $230, $240, right? So I could get it for $201. Now, when I got it yesterday, I got it for $205. But still, I'm still coming out ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And this works on anything, even on not big ticket items. As long as it's something that's in stock. If it's pre-order, it won't work. So let's say new and trending. We're just going to click on something here. Let's say, okay, the Wolverine. Well, that's 125. I don't know if I'm going to mess with him. Let's just click on something random here. There you go. The Transformers Knight Rider. Right? Again, I can just click on the URL, copy. We're going to open up a tab, paste. So now I'm going to hit add to cart. We're going to go to cart. I'm going to delete him. So again, let's see here. Is it not giving us? Okay, let's go continue. Oh, it looks like it's not going to work on him for some reason. So sales tax fourth. Yeah, it's not working. That's weird. It worked on the other one, but not on this one. That is a little funny. So it looks like they're only doing discounts on certain ones with the affiliate link, but also with the affiliate link, like you can save, like technically you'll get like a couple, I think it's like $2 or $3 off depending on what the item is.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get that as credit towards down the line or something once you earn a certain amount. But anybody can sign up for affiliate status. Anybody can. It's not that hard. You just fill out some information. You might plug in, oh, this is my YouTube channel. This is my Instagram. They just plug it in. They don't even really look at it. And bam, anybody can get affiliate links. That's why so many people are posting in affiliate links in their YouTube channels, because some companies like this, yeah, you can do that. Big Bad Toy Store does not technically have an affiliate link, yet they do give affiliate codes to certain tubers.
Yeah.
You know, so I just find that that's hilarious. There are some companies where Amazon, it's one of the hardest things. You have to have some of the biggest followings around in order to get something.
Oh.
In order to get qualified in their programs, you have to have like several thousand followers. I'm not talking about like 2,000 or 3,000. You got to have like, I think 6 or 7 or even close to 10. I mean, they want people who are so high. Well, you can't get to that level unless you start out off somewhere. And that's one of the biggest things I think is so annoying, is a lot of these companies, they just don't give the smaller channels a chance.
Is Ultra Carter Godzilla still in the chat?
Yes, he is. He just said, Hasbro, why you still haven't done my Transformers Aliens crossover and Transformers Terminator collabs? You have failed to celebrate their anniversaries this year. Therefore, you just made the list of Jericho.
Sorry, I've just realised, because I'm used to working with StreamYard, I'm still trying to get used to this. I didn't realise that you could actually click on the chat and it brings the chat up.
Well, yeah, this is very similar to how StreamYard is, except I like that I can change a lot of this stuff. I have sound effects we can play. Believe it or not.
Because I managed to acquire this guy.
Okay, let me put that up. There you go.
I managed to get Carter from. But I think what I'll do one week is that I'm going to look at all my Halo stuff and kind of show off, because a lot of folk.
Ultra Carzilla started off talking about some Jazzwares that he picked up today. So, or was it he talking about? Here we go. He got his. This is beginning of the stream earlier. Anyone got anything last week? Because I sure as hell got a lot, as I got a ton of new Halo figures from Jazzwares Vault during Black Friday sales.
So I mean, I've got a couple of the Jazzwares, but I've got the smaller ones. So I've got like the Brute handy.
Yeah, he says, I want the Carter A259 so bad, as he's my favorite member in one of the 3 namesakes. And hey, we got Sam Hain in the chat. Sam Hain, I gotta know, brother, did you do this? Did you back the ECTO? I gotta know from you, man. I know you got a lot going on in the life, but were you fortunate enough to get your hands on the ECTO, or was it just now? I know a lot of people were not able to jump on it because of space or money or both. But yeah, I'm psyched. It's just that we have to wait a whole year for this. I have a whole year to kind of figure things out. Haven't even looked at the campaign. Well, the campaign actually closed as of midnight last night. So right now, the only chance will be the aftermarket, and I hate to see the pricing. I've already seen people posting on eBay. Okay, people are posting on eBay right now, actually. I'm going to go to eBay. I'm going to type in ECTO Haslab. People are already posting it there. See? $7.49. People are already posting the patches.
That's crazy, man. Eh?
Yeah.
900 quid for the trap.
Yeah, that's two in the box. Yeah. That's the thing. People are now, some of these people, I really don't get why they think they're going to get $900. There are some people who can build traps. There are kits that you can make traps look just like they are in the movie at less than these prices. $600, $700. I mean, and look at this. Buy it now, free shipping. The campaign just freaking closed. You can't guarantee anything because, I mean, what if something happens and your order gets lost? And now you owe this person $700, but they already paid $700 a year ago. I mean, how are you going to justify, this person didn't deliver, I want my $700 back? You're not going to be able to do that. Because is eBay going to say, well, this person didn't fulfill this order a year ago, so yes, we'll give you your money. I don't see that happening. But I also don't know the full terms and conditions of eBay, and I don't want to.
Well, it's always the same when they do a Haslab and it does become available. I mean, as soon as you go on eBay just to query something, it's like,
well, hell, look, $600 for $555 for Galactus, $80 shipping. $87 for these 3 burnt mini puffs. When I could don't get me wrong, those guys have a little bit of posability to them. My little 3D printed mini puff does not, but I could print 3 or 4 different variations of this, but I could do the same kind of painting on him.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just a thing. Yeah, it just cracks me up. It's just so hilarious.
Think about it, man. Majority they put when you're scrolling down, they've probably just screenshotted it, put that up, open order 2, will sell 1 anything. Double the fucking price, so they're basically getting their monies back for the price of 2.
Life has been lifting like a lot. Hey, as long as you can, as long as you're things are getting better in your life, that's what's important. You can always collect at a later point in time. Now, yeah, these Haslabs, these crowdfunds are like once in a lifetime, or Hasbro is trying to clear out their warehouse like they did last year.
It's like talking about 3D printers. I'm going to see my friend and see if he can actually 3D print me the missing parts for this.
Now, well, let me show you something here. You've heard of Etsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Let's go to what? That's a G.I. Joe vehicle, right? That's like a Cobra jet.
Yeah, I think it's is it the Raven? Night Raven?
Okay, Night Raven Cobra STL file. Okay, verifying device. This person has 3D replacement Cobra custom. So some of these people will actually sell the files, or they'll print them and just sell you the prints.
Mm.
So yeah, there's probably someone who can custom do that. Here you go, Night Raven. This is the STL file. So if you want the engine can be 3D printed.
I was going to say that one looks different from what this one, but this is free. But this is a deal on this.
Raven,
This is
here's a display stand you can actually get.
Oh, cool.
You know, and then if you know someone, like my printer, if I printed something like this, I can actually do custom colors. Because let me show you something. This is one solid print. I just painted the in the program. I can assign colors to different parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have magnets on the other side, so it goes right on my shelf. So that's where all my Cobra and my G.I. Joe stuff is.
Because you done a G.I. Joe, just for the Joes, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like a nice little
Magnets. So that's the thing. You don't have to get... Now, see, like with this, the star was a happy accident. This was supposed to be white, but then I assigned blue on the outside for some reason, and it made it look like it was glowing.
Mm.
You know? And all this was one solid print. I did not print these parts separately. It just prints it right on there. Because the program, you can just... It's like paint by numbers in a computer program. Because I have the different color filaments, and it just prints it. Might take about 2 or 3 hours for that, but... So, yeah. I mean, I like doing this. I have an X-Men sign. I have a Spider-Man sign. I really need to redo the Spider-Man sign, though. I have the Tony Stark the arc reactor.
See, that'd be nice for like the way that I've kind of got that I've got Spider-Man. It's kind of nice to have like a Spider-Man thing out, but so you can kind of tell what's actually on the shelf. That'd be a cool for man. Yeah,
See?
it's kind of like this is kind of this thing. It's that. No, I do like the X-Men.
Yeah.
The X-Men
No.
ones.
I had printed some guns, some prop guns for my wife. She wanted gold filament, so I had the extra gold filament left over. It's this gold sparkle.
That just kind of makes it like
Yeah,
jump out
so
at you.
I'm like, well, I'm going to use the gold, and I said I should use the gold anyways. Let me just do this as an experiment. This was an experiment, and it came out fantastic. But that's the thing. I can print that. Guess what else I could possibly print? Stands. Like the stands I have on here, I could probably print these out.
Oh, I definitely.
So, yeah, I have a lot of projects, a lot of ideas I want to print.
This time next year, Dave, you'll be printing your own action figures.
Don't laugh. Let me pull this up. Because for Dre the Collector Safe Space, I actually printed something he requested I print. Let me see if I can pull it up in my files here. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can share this. Share screen. Here we go. Let's see. Hide that for now, and we'll put this up. Here's my program. So I printed this. This is actually a multi-piece thing I did for my sister-in-law. This I printed for my sister. It's a gnome doing like little hook 'em horns, kind of like, you know, rock out kind of thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4 colors there. We got 3 colors here and just one solid color here. So the feet glued to the bottom of him. and then this guy glues on top of there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple, right? We go back to home. Go back to more, because I actually did this this TARDIS cube. It's not showing me the head. Okay, I'm going to have to look up that file. But basically...
you tried to do a 3D printed head?
I actually... No, I didn't try. I did. I printed up a couple for Dre.
Nice.
See if I can pull this up.
There you go. You could actually just... If you ever
I mean,
across like a cheap G.I. Joe body...
It didn't come out the greatest. I think it needs to be sanded and delicately painted. Where are you? There you are.
As you say, the more you do it, the more you get better at it, and then you'll be able to do something like that.
Well, I think it also depends on the type of printer you have and the type of filament you're using.
I know I've heard a lot of folks saying like if you want to do like heads and weapons, you're better with the
Resin.
The resin.
Yeah.
But then it costs you more to buy the equipment for the resin, because once it's in, then you've got to put into a special like.
You ever watch Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
That's Gohan in Super Saiyan form. So I printed out 2 of those, and one in one filament, one in another. So yeah, I was able to print a couple of those out.
Nice.
This is something I really need to do. This is goes on top of my printer, and these are like little trays so I can have tools and accessories inside there. So that's something I really want to get done. But yeah, they have their whole database of stuff you can just like search for. Like if I want to do, let's see here, action figure stands. Okay, I just typed in action figure stands, so like I could print something like this, something like this. Here you go, like just a regular kind of stand, like an oval Black Series stand. Bam, there you go.
Yeah, Joe one.
Yep. We can print these up, and I can make like the actual stilts or the stand parts different colors. Here's like that G.I. Joe insignia. We got a Cobra insignia there.
Yeah,
We can do like...
I feel like that they've done the Joe one, and they've also done the Cobra one, so you can have... They're not all the same color or not all the same kind of thing.
See, I like this here.
Mm.
And the thing is, with 3D printers, you can resize things, make them bigger or smaller. So yeah, there is transparent filament you can use. So you can actually make this part kind of transparent, or even the sides. And these are free files. This whole database is nothing but free files. You want to do like Funkos, you want to do like anime characters. There's tons and tons and tons of, like, you want to do like a little, here you go, a little stand and monitor for like an action figure, for like a little diorama piece. Look at this. You can print the computer, the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse. You can 3D print all that stuff. It's amazing what you can do. And that's just me typing in, action figure stands. Here you go. You want to print out a muscle gym, like a little bench and weights. It's a bit crazy.
Well, it's mental what you can do with a 3D printer nowadays. Like,
oh yeah, here, like these action figure bases right here. These fit the Marvel Legends, obviously, right here. I could print a whole bunch of them out, and that's a free file. There you go. Han and Carbonite. Print out the stand, and you put a little LED with a little switch right there, and bam. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good idea for that, to be honest.
But that's the thing with 3D printing, anything's doable. Like you're talking Action Force, right? Let's type in Action Force, see what comes up. Let's see here. Fallout armor. Barbell with plates. You can do lightsabers. You can do just tons of stuff here. It's insane what you can find here. Desk accessories. You want to print like little headphone holders. Tons of stuff for your desk. These are just accessories for your desk here. In fact, I printed this.
That's cool.
You know what it's for?
For your pen?
Yep. I actually made one for a family member, but the one I made actually has a nut that screws down the thread.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the thing. 3D printing is addicting. If you get into it, I mean, there's a lot you can do. You can make vases. You can make little 3D printed stands here. Apple Watch charger. You can make like little fidget devices. I mean, literally, the only limitation is your imagination. Like, imagine making a bust of the Hulk. But the thing I want to make, let me see if I can pull it up here. I downloaded the file yesterday. Was for the Gambit I got. Come on, it's loading. Sentinel head. Let me know if you can see that.
I can see that.
Okay, now, this is what I do. I go to here, right? Switch this over to paint can. I might not be able to do that with this. There we go. Let's see. Now, some of these parts you kind of have to like get really up close. You can see there's some blotches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I want to do this. I can just go around and kind of clean that up. Looking better now, right?
Totally. That's cool, man.
And it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do. You know, if I wanted to make this different tones, let's say I wanted this to be, I don't know, give him like a skin tone, right? Bam. Let's say we want to give him kind of like a red eye. So, I mean, he doesn't look perfect, but I mean, like, if I did this, but then I printed him out, and then I took, like, a rotary tool, and I scraped the hell out of him, make him look battle damage, and then have, like, gambits right on top of him.
I was just going to say that, man, unless there's a file for, like, a battle damaged head.
Well, I'm looking for some. Now, you see how big he is right there, right?
Mm.
This is the size of one of the plates. Okay? So, this is the size of the plate right there, right? Now, what if I wanted to make him bigger? How do you suppose I do that? It's that easy. I can make him huge if I want.
I was going to say, for the size of that gambit, it has to be a little bit bigger than. Well, not as big as Gambit, but probably the head probably maybe the size of Gambit.
Now, imagine, well, like with this, I could still take a 6-inch Marvel Legend figure and put him side by side with
What?
this guy.
Oh, definitely.
Now, the only limitations is the area of the bed here. So, I can actually print a helmet if I really needed to. If I wanted to do a Mandalorian helmet, I could print one off. Okay. Now, if I want, let's say I really wanted to do this, I'm going to go over to supports. We're going to click support, go to tree. I'm going to go to others because I don't want a prime tower. That's that paint tower that you saw in the back there. So we're going to have them like right there, right? We're going to hit slice.
Because if you depending on how big you want it, you might need to do it in a few different sections, won't you?
I can actually cut it into sections if I really wanted to, by the way. But honestly, for something like this, I'm probably better off not coloring it, doing it as one color filament, and then hand painting it. Like, I actually, on my wish list for the holidays, I actually have some airbrush kits. Like a small little compressor with an airbrush kit, so I can do the airbrushing.
You can actually get the Duffman actually showed me, because I'm thinking about getting one of their brushes.
And you see this here?
It's a little portable one. You didn't have to get one. It's got like the compressor. The compressor's all built into.
You see these branches? These are the supports. These will break off of it when you're done. And there's a way to like add a layer so that it's easier to break them off. But it shows you right here. One, this program tells me how long it's going to take. 3 days, 11 hours. But mind you, this is one solid piece. Now, if I'm doing a helmet, it's not going to take that long. Okay, so there's that to think about. Also, this tells me how much it's going to cost. To print this would cost me $47.29 worth of filament. Of course, that's US. Now, you can change the pricing on here so you can reflect, like, if you bought filament for like $12 a reel. Or for you, let's say it was like, say like let's say it's like £5 a reel, right? So you can set that so you can actually see how much it actually costs you to print stuff. Like these little mini puffs, it's maybe, I'd say about maybe 15, maybe 20 cents to print one. Not that much. So
It kind of gives you an idea as well, as like if you decided that you wanted to do more and sell them.
yeah.
It kind of gives you an idea as to how much it's going to cost you for the filament if you're just going to do them unpainted, so you can send them to people that want to do them themselves instead of to spend the time.
By the way, if I have different colors here, like if I wanted to do this a completely different color scheme, I can easily do that. Like, okay, the gray here, right? Go back to paint. Choose gray. Bam. He's gray. If I wanted to do, let's say I wanted this to be purple. And I have silver filament, so if I really wanted this to be the silver, I could really do that.
Yeah. I was going to say with the purple face, it does look a little bit odd, but still at the same time, it just looks something unique. As you say, you could really have fun with the colouring, couldn't you? You could basically have every part of that head different colour.
Now he looks like a Neapolitan. You got chocolate, we got the strawberry. Now we just need vanilla. But see, that's the fun thing about this. I mean, you can do tons of stuff here. Yeah, see, this is what I did. I printed this in the gold filament, so it just screws right on top. And it's crazy. They print as two separate pieces, but it fits like a glove.
That's just like one of my friends. He went and got a 3D printer, and he's just kind of been messing about. He must have. He got free copies.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those yet, to be honest. I want to, though.
It was actually meant to be for my nephew, but I never gave it to my nephew. I ended up keeping it for myself. I just thought it was, I just thought it was cool and weird.
Cup holders. I mean, there's fidget spinners you can make yourself. I mean, there's literally, you can spend hours just looking at stuff. Like, say, if I did this, right? I'm just going to click that right now. Spider-Man, right? So, what are we going to do? I'm going to add some colors. So, we're going to add... There you go. So, I'm going to make this black. Okay, we're going to make this blue. And we're going to add another one and make that like a silver color. Okay, so what am I going to do is, let's see here. First, I got to highlight the frame. Okay. Let's see here. It also depends on the file as to how easily I can do this. I don't think, yeah, it's gonna click the whole thing. So because the lines are so curved and so like they're not straight, so it makes it hard for me to kind of paint those. Let's see.
This was his first attempt, Dave. He tried to do dragons.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people actually do the multicolor dragons because there's different filament you can get with different colors.
You know, it's like the first couple that he did when he was trying to take off certain supports. It kind of broke off the horns. So this one's got a missing horn, but he kind of gave me a couple just to see what they were like. Because man, I do love these because I've got a Falcor one.
I want to do the Falcor actually.
I've got a Falcor one, so you see, I know it's kind of broken. I said, I don't mind it. I says it's just kind of a weird little.
So let's say I did this. I'm going to go to paint. First I highlight. This is two-dimensional, by the way, you can see. So let's say I wanted, instead of the black lines, let's say I wanted it to be blue. So I go to paint bucket. Bam. Blue lines. Or see here. Now we want to make this black. So we could do like a little bit of a Miles Morales vibe. I'll make the background black first, and then I can make the webbing red.
So when you start, so if you want to have like the blue fruit or that, I'm assuming it'll start off with blue and then it'll add the red.
No, see, the base is red, right? Unless I change it. So whatever the base, because if this is printing flat, see, I have to turn this around three-dimensionally, flip it all the way around to hit every angle. So this will start black going up because this is the bottom here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say this is the bottom. Okay, I'm going to hit this. I want to make these lines red like Miles Morales. And let's say this I'm going to make like a silver, but we'll just do... I'll have to use something as a filler right now. So I'll just do like this is... No, we'll do that red. But this is just to show an example of... Now you can zoom in so it's easier for you to do. But if you're painting stuff, you kind of have to like look at, okay, see this is black trim right here. I need to make that red. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to kind of like take your time and really play with it. Go at the different angles. But if you're familiar with Miles Morales, you know, this is starting to look like his mask now. And if you notice, it doesn't really take that long. But I do recommend going through 3 or 4 times just to make sure you got every angle possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've printed Doctor Who stuff. I mean, I've printed, like, for example, this. This is all one piece. Looks like a piece of the TARDIS broken off. So sometimes you really have to, like, get down to it. Like, you can see cracks in some parts. But if you look, like, you can see there's actually faded parts in here. That's just how the color works out. So, there's a lot of stuff. But, man, it gets addicting. I mean, I could spend an entire day off just playing around with designs. But now, that looks like Miles Morales. Just about. Let me see here. Nope, that's looking good right there. Pretty simple. I'm no pro, so if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Lord.
And I mean, it's fun, it's creative, it's, you know, especially here, it's winter time now, so I'm not really going to be going out into the cold. I'm going to be doing mods with my Proton Pack. And now that I have my printer over here, I have everything calibrated. I'm still working on a few things. I can just spend time printing stuff, you know? It is fun. It is addicting.
Oh, it's just the same with like doing the custom figures, man. It's trying to. I'm constantly like coming up with ideas in my head. It's like I would love to try this. I would love to try that. I want to make that guy into that guy kind of thing. I have a split game. Could I have 2 versions of them kind of thing? You're always thinking. But as you say, it's getting colder, and you don't want to go out when it gets cold.
Yeah, you know, I mean, well, that's a legit thing. So, but you see, honestly, the way this bamboo printers are, if you're going to get into a printer, I swear, get bamboo. It does the leveling every time on its own. You have a program like Bamboo Studio here, where you can do 3-dimensional. You can resize things. You can save the file, so if you want to do this again in the future, you can. Now, you heard me about slicing, right? I was talking about I could cut stuff in half.
Mm-hmm.
That's this right here. Okay? Perform cut. So now, this is one flat piece in the top layer. It cut the top layer off, so I could actually have this as a separate piece now.
Nice.
Now, did I do anything? All I did was just hit perform cut. Now, I could change that. Now, let's say, and by the way, you can just use the arrows up here to go back. Bam, it's back in one piece. Now, if I want to go to cut, now, you see this here, right? What if I want the cut to be different? You see where you have the kind of purple and then you have like the turquoise? Well, see, that's where the cut begins. Now, let's say I want to raise this up. Hold on. Let me move this out the way. Ooh, bitch. So, let's say I want to change that. So now, see the 2 colors? That's not all, kids. If I want to cut it like that, it'll cut it like that. Crazy, right? So literally, you can do that if you want to. But you also have to contend with, well, is this piece going to fit perfectly with that piece? Are you going to have a line down the middle? You will, unless you're sanding it down and bonding it perfectly. Rex from Millennium Workshop, he's the one you really want to go with when it comes to that stuff. But it's about 10 after my time. I actually have to jump on to do a few other things. I have work to do behind me because I'm taking out 2 of these bookcases for tomorrow morning. I might actually take them all out. It depends. Because
It's 3:10 in the morning here. So I'm in the future.
because like the garage shelving I have here, I'm reproducing that for the background.
See, I've been the guy that I do my live stream with. Funny enough, his name's Dave as well. That's what he's doing in his house.
Yeah.
He's thinking about that, and he's kind of giving me
Well-
ideas for
well,
next
see-
year for my collection.
Well, see, here's the thing. Some of those bookcases, some of those garage shelving, they can range between 2,500 to 4,000 pounds tolerance.
Mhm.
Just imagine if you have a bunch of heavy. I mean, let's face it, action figures don't weigh that much. But if you have like heavy props, like my proton packs, I'm going to have 2 proton packs side by side on one shelf. It's going to be strong enough to hold that up. And yes, I am going to be that weirdo that gets the caution stripe tape that's going to be around the frame where I have the proton pack set up. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Well, you could have your proton. You've got the 2 proton packs, don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 proton packs right now.
So
Might be
you could have one at one side, one at the other side, and then once you get your
A third one to be built later.
and then you have your third one, then you could have your new toy next September or whenever you get it.
Man, I'm 3D printing parts right now for my proton pack. What are you talking about? I mean, I have to paint this. This was a prototype I did, but this is a solid piece. This is not bending. So
I'm looking forward to it because you've been talking about that custom for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. It'll be nice to see.
It's gonna be a long haul. I probably won't have it built until probably maybe next summer, because I'm gonna be doing a Back to the Future proton pack like I did once before, but this one's gonna be 1-to-1, like 100% scale, full size proton pack, not like a Spirit Halloween from like 4 years ago. Plus, with me printing each part individually, I can customize like never before. Oh, I got so many different crazy ideas. Like in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, they wear like a wrist gauntlet instead of the wand. Like it's like a kind of like a one shot kind of a deal. But I was thinking of if I can I don't know how I'm going to do it, but my idea is there's a handle that you use for the trigger, right? Well, what if instead of one arm, you had 2? And you still had the trigger buttons, but what if you could actually rev the handles up? And that's how the proton pack starts powering up, and you have the Back to the Future, the DeLorean revving up sound.
That's a good thing because once you see you see something, and it's like can I make that better? Your brain starts to, the little hamster in your head starts going round the wheel, and it's like, oh, I could add this to this, I could add that to that. How would it look if I did that to this and added a wee bit to that and a wee bit to that, just to make it unique to you?
Well, have I ever shown you the picture of my proton pack?
Don't think so, no.
Oh, well, we're going to do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up right here. Dave's Dimension YouTube. Or this is my Instagram. And yes, I am a Bills fan. Josh Allen just flying through the air like Superman. I mean, come on. You can't get any cooler than that. So let's go. Okay, these are this is like me printing up some of the parts. I printed this as one solid piece instead of 4 pieces. I love this. I love that damn printer. So, okay, that's a barrel I was printing. Here's my army of mini puffs I printed. We actually gave them away at an event early this fall. We were giving out as prizes to people. So, Jurassic Park stuff I printed. The Raptor that Dr. Allen carried with him in the first movie. In Jurassic Park 3, there's the 3D printed resonating chamber for the Velociraptor. I'm actually going to get bone colored filament and print this because I actually gave these to a friend of mine who's a big Jurassic Park fan. Here's the Doctor Who stuff I did. See here. Here's the boat, the G.I. Joe Devilfish that I printed for Dre. Okay. This I actually had to slice in half in the printer like I showed you before.
Mm-hmm.
But you really can't tell unless you're really up close to it. You can't tell that these are 2 separate pieces. I mean, you got the motor, you got the missiles, everything there.
See, that's a good thing about having a free like that U printer.
The sucker's that big, man. It is huge.
You could technically, man, if you wanted to, you could technically do all the GI Joe vehicles if you really wanted to.
Yep.
Because that's what gave me the idea.
Rex actually printed this for me. The bumper for the Haslab, he printed that. This is actually 3 pieces. Not counting the center knob, this is actually 3 pieces, but you can't tell. And there I have it on the proton pack right there.
Oh, nice.
I still have more parts I need to swap out on here. Excuse me. This is going to be scrolling for a while, so bear with me. This is the diorama Duffman made for me. For Hook and Ladder 8. For the 50... Now, this is like the... This Ecto actually fits like the 3 3/4 figures. So it actually fits perfectly in front of the firehouse. But I have the 6-inch figures beside this. I just thought it kind of looked cool for the time. But he handmade this.
Oh, Duffman, man.
Duffman, he freaking kills it, man. He really does. And that's this my daughter. This is River. AKA Murder Cat, AKA Bloody Ninja. This was a real Ghostbusters paint scheme. This is a 80% scale Spirit that I painted for my wife, but she was never into wearing the proton pack. But this is all painted. I think I did a good job.
Oh, definitely.
And we swapped out the electronics for Frankengeek electronics on there. Let's see here. We're getting closer. I missed that setup. I had a lower setup where I just had 3 monitors going across. But these are like, I don't know, 7 or 8-year-old monitors. They're just lying around. And yes, I am that weirdo that has to put a TARDIS and a DeLorean in a nativity scene.
Wait, no. I've seen folk do it with dinosaurs.
Yep. Let's see here. When I tried to do the Hasbro, the selfie figure, this is what it made me look like. That looks nothing like me. It made it kind of look like Tim Allen or something. I was like, Jesus, what the hell? Where are you? We should be coming across it soon. There we go. So I had a Yahtzee flux capacitor on the top. I had bought some like metal piping from Home Depot. And I epoxied it from here to the top of the pack. I had bought some L-wire LED lines. And I actually used an old piece of oxygen hose. Glued it onto the top of the, what they call the... Oh, God, I'm blanking on it right now. But I had it attached here. So look, kind of gave that Back to the Future vibe. I created the flux bar here. I actually took a piece of soldering filament, put it through an old oxygen hose that wasn't good anymore, painted it silver, used a little screen mesh on another LED bar so it looked like the front bar of the bumper of the DeLorean. I had an old USB charger that didn't work anymore, so I took the guts out, put Mr. Fusion, so he was sticking out sideways.
Mm.
These were like little like clear slides. It was a light box I got on Etsy, so I actually connected that onto the belt. But I also used little Velcro and little plastic parts and connected like an old phone wire to it, so it made it look like it was actually connected to the proton pack on the belt.
Mm-hmm.
I used little foam pieces and I made this box. I had an extra light bar from here, put it in there, put a fake keypad in there, so it was like that's how I set the time circuits, and that was on the belt. And that, if you notice, there's some tabs here that also connected to another part on the proton pack.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it made it look like everything was one piece. And the great thing was I painted this silver. Okay, I took everything out and I painted this all silver. And then I took I put new labels here, and a few other spots. This is the Mark 1 because this part right here broke off at the con I wore it to. The next version I did, I actually put a clear tube on it. I had a Back to the Future logo. I was actually using this as my YouTube logo for a while, but then I had to take it down because someone was saying that this was their logo, even though I bought this from an Etsy store. So, out of respect, I stopped using it. But you can see how small this kind of looks like on a big, heavyset guy, because this is me before I lost my weight. So you can see this right here. I mean, the bar here kind of added a little bit of size to it. But you see how I had the wire going all the way around through the hose? I had people who, they didn't want to take pictures with me. They wanted to take pictures with the proton pack. So yeah, I mean, that's how I started. That was the early version of me. Me after I lost some weight because I could actually fit in a flight suit then.
It's actually kind of because I was going through my phone the other day, the other week there. Because my sister's like, when I take my nephew to his first, like, Comic Con kind of thing. If you get pictures there, I'm still sitting with you in the theatre with like the Gremlins. I was like, yeah. And I come across one where there was like a Ghostbuster. It was like a 3D kind of thing that you could
Like a VR.
Aye, he's there, and he's got the proton pack, and the proton pack's probably about the size of him.
Now you see how my room is, right?
Yeah.
This is how it used to be. A little bit cleaner, but I had a lot of less stuff that I had collecting here. Like I had a Saba, I had some Green Ranger stuff. I had a little Power Ranger thing, little Ghostbuster shrine. I had this stuff here, and now I just have so much stuff that it's like. This was the back wall, so I had like this from here to here. So you can see some of the flux pack right there, but like this is like comparing to what I have now. This is nothing compared to what I have now. But I'm still trying to make things a little bit more cleaner. My Spirit Halloween next to my full-scale proton pack I built. Let's see here. This is how it originally looked. Like these were just loose parts that I had to build and paint. Of course, the Ecto. Let's see here. Here's one. Here's the newer version I had done with. I replaced the tube. I put hair gel inside with LED lights, so it looked like a temporal slime filter. So these were the 3 spirit packs I once had once upon a time, which I sold now. Kind of crazy.
But very cool at the same time. It just shows you what you can actually do with
Well, I actually took a label gun and I put here Flux Pack Mark III on it. No, I think that was Mark II I put on there. I also put on the wand. I put like Marty McFly. Because obviously he's the user of it, right? And I put, do not X streams, so like do not cross streams, that kind of stuff. But like that's the thing. I want to do, instead of the red lights here, I want to do blue. Okay. The flux capacitor I still want to put up there, but I want to do another bar somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how there's the short little light bar right here,
Yeah.
but on this side, I want to replace that. Remember in Back to the Future when Marty drives the car faster and faster, there's those multicolor light bars?
Mm-hmm.
I want something like that.
Yes.
But what I want to do is with the handles, I want to, so like when I rev up the handles, if I can do some kind of like a throttle switch to start that. I don't know how I would do the electronics of it. I'm talking to a few people about possibilities, but you would see the cyclotron going faster and faster and faster and faster. So, and you would hear in the speaker, you would hear the DeLorean revving up, going faster and faster.
Yeah.
So I think that would be kind of cool. And once it hits 88 miles per hour, if I can get a little LED display showing, going like it's speeding up to 88. And then you have like the flash, and that's when the pack vents out.
Yeah.
So I have a couple different ideas. Like this was just a regular hose. I painted it gold. This I hand painted brass. This clip art valve, I remember it now. This was just like an oxygen hose, like from a nebulizer that I connected, but I ran the LED wire through. So this is all just like scraps and stuff thrown together here. And what worked out perfectly, this flux capacitor, this Yahtzee flux capacitor, when you shake it like a cup, it lights up. So with me moving around, it just kept lighting itself up. It worked perfectly. And this was a spare pack. I just I did heavy black paint on here. I hand weathered it with silver dry brushing. So it made it look like it was a pack that was just put through hell.
Yeah.
And that was me. That just made so much sense. But what I did was I took it a step further. I swapped out all the original electronics for GB Fans electronics. I put a full size speaker in it, like a speaker the size of my hand right here, in there. Usually they start off with like something that's like the size of a coin. So of course I had to take it up a few levels. I swapped out all the fake, like you see the Spirit parts right here. They look kind of big and clunky.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got the real brass and metal fittings and elbow pieces for here. And I put the real tubes and cabling on it. I made this look as screen accurate as I could possibly get it. For a novice. I mean, I really took it to a whole new level. At least for me anyways. But yeah, I even did a ghost trap to go with it. This was the case I used to have. We actually put striping over it, so this was how I held all my Ghostbuster gear inside. This used to be our car. I actually got magnetic strips, put the reflective caution tape on it, and we still have the Ghostbuster logo. So this was a way to make our car look like an ECTO, and then take everything off so it would still look like a stock car.
Yeah.
Because my wife doesn't want to drive in an ECTO all the time. These were some of our ECTOs. See, there, my gear fitting right in that container. I was trying to build like a Back to the Future themed ghost trap, but it just wasn't working out. So I even painted the PKE meter to go with the real Ghostbusters colors. I had an Xbox that was themed out to look like Ghostbusters. I bought some D-brand skins and just put it right on there. Now on the Spirit one, I was able to rig it up so I could put the trap right on there. But hey, it's just a little bit of imagination. To see that extra bar, I reinforced it so it wouldn't break off this time. This pack actually is now down south at a collector's shop. I think it's called Out of Time Collectibles. He has a DeLorean too. So he was a Ghostbuster fan and a Back to the Future fan. And there you go. I only sold this for like $240, $250 or something. Considering how much money I threw into it, it was like barely breaking even. Yes, sir. Some of the kits that I put into the packs. A little bit of fun. Yep, there we go. And yes, I have cosplayed as Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know you're a big Doctor Who fan as well.
Oh yes, I'm looking at possibly 3D printing a TARDIS now. I have a 1/6 scale 10th Doctor, and he's got to have a TARDIS.
Oh, definitely.
So I have Tennant, so I have David Tennant, so he needs a TARDIS. So that kind of goes without saying. And yeah, this is a picture of me with Chris Lloyd. I have 2 Back to the Future comic books, and I have the license plates in a picture frame. This was Peter Capaldi. We met with him, and we got photos with him. And he writes this whole thing on this is my wife's autograph. He writes this whole paragraph on here. If anyone's a Doctor Who fan, he's definitely one of the best people to go ahead and meet. So, yep. There we goes. But I'm going to go ahead. We're going to call this. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank, of course, we got to thank Baz here. Got to thank Archer. Hey, Archer, for popping through. Sam Hain, Colbane Games. Want to thank everyone who's popped through the stream. Colbane popped through. We didn't even notice because we were just talking and talking. David's Life. He's a local YouTuber here in Buffalo, technically North Tonawanda. So he's a hop, skip, and a jump. We had Vern from Oakhurst saying hi. Apparently we missed a few people. But again, guys, I want to thank everyone who came through. Next week, I don't know what the hell we're going to do next week. Maybe there's going to be an unbox next week. We don't know. We will see what happens. Who knows? Eventually I'm going to be getting my hands on 2 in a box. I'll probably do a video and a live stream about that. There's also going to be the Gambit coming through the pipeline.
I'm kind of looking forward to see what that Gambit actually looks like in person.
Dre has him. But see, Gambit's always been one of my favorite X-Men. So, and yes, that was before the Deadpool movie. I messaged Trey. I was like, I kind of did something. He said, "What'd you do?" I said, "I'm going to make a name for myself." He said, "Oh, yep." So yeah, I did videos on like showing the electronics inside the pack. Like all this electronics in here are new stuff that I put in. And this is stuff that's supposed to go in like a full size pack. I did modifications to the Spirit gear, and this is a couple years ago. I rigged it up so it wouldn't run like on a couple batteries. They had a rechargeable battery pack that would run for like 5 days straight. I was not messing around. See, I had, like I mentioned to Archer, I had like a scrolling name tag. This was magnetized, so I could put it right on top of my Spirit pack. So you can actually see who you're going to call, and it would say Buffalo Ghostbusters. They're these cheap LED badges you can buy on Amazon. So all we need is something that's just a little bit longer, a little bit more narrow, and put that right on the Ecto, and you have a scrolling marquee.
Oh, yeah.
So I could definitely see someone coming up with something like that. but pretty nifty, A little bit of imagination, And I have an app on my iPad where I can actually do these graphics. I can't do video yet, but I can do this on my iPad with any photo. This is me when I used to work at Spectrum. I see here I have some other photos this I added the light, trying to recreate the scene when Paul Rudd opens up the ghost trap in Frozen Empire, or not Frozen Empire, but in Afterlife. Let's see here. I gave one of my cats evil laser eyes.
I like that.
Have ECTO-1 and I gave him a little proton stream. And I made the headlights look like they were lit up. Lit up the proton pack too, Had to have a little bit of fun with that. But, yep, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you for hanging out, Baz. You have anything coming up on your channel? You have any content coming up?
Not until next week. This
Okay.
week I'm kind of busy, family stuff and all that. So
Yep, I get that.
12, where it's not technically going to be my live stream. Dave, my co-host, he's wanting to do a special. He's been working on something for the last few months. So he wants to kind of do a walkthrough. So he's been kind of going through his collection, and he's kind of done like a museum style thing.
Okay.
It's like each shelf has got a different toy line on it or whatever. So he's been working on that over the last few months. So he wants to kind of, he has showed off, but he only showed about maybe 5 or 10% of it. But
Okay.
usually when it comes up to Christmas time, we usually try and do something different. And then the following week after that, we're going to have an open mic. So get folk in, hopefully folk will join us, and then we can talk about Christmas past and Christmas.
Okay. Cool.
As I say, we always try to do something, but because my work at the moment, we're into mandatory overtime, I have to work a Thursday, and sometimes I'm only working till 12, so if I'm working till 12, it's not a problem. I can still, but if I'm working till like 6 or half 6, the time I get home, you're just tired constantly. But hopefully we'll have another couple of weeks of that, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, my work hours are a little funky. Like Wednesdays. Wednesdays I work from 12:30 until 9 o'clock at night. My Mondays and Tuesdays are like 9 or 9:30 until like 5:30 or 6. Thursdays I'm like working from like 10:30 to 7, and Fridays it's like 8. What is it? Is it 8:30 to 5 or something like that? So I don't have like a really set schedule, so I'm all over the place. But thankfully, I still have my Tuesday nights available. So,
Yeah, totally.
And I'll be up doing all this stuff. But this Sunday, I believe, on Colby Games channel, he's been doing a D&D night once a month for us. Me, Dre, and a whole bunch of other people. So if anyone's looking for something to do, 8 p.m. Eastern time, come through Colby Games channel and come and watch us be complete D&D goofballs. We're gonna have a crate. It's gonna be kind of like, imagine D&D, but we're trying to do a campaign. I believe that's gonna be like pirate ships. So that's gonna be interesting. I have to go through my notes and see what kind of character I'm actually doing, because I think I forgot, because we had a lot going on last month. Obviously Thanksgiving, and people have had family stuff going on, so it's been a good minute since we've done anything at all. So we kind of have to pick up the stream all of a sudden. So should be fun, should be crazy, a little bit insane. But yeah. So next week Tuesday, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, what we're going to rant about, but I'm hoping everyone's going to come back through. But we'll see what happens. Like you said, it is the holiday season right now. I mean, it's already December 3rd. In a few weeks, it's going to be Christmas time. Although, I might be ranting at a big channel there's a channel called Who Culture. Anyone who's a Doctor Who fan, you might know might know it. They've been kind of slamming on people who are not originally from the UK who happen to be Who fans. Like, they kind of prioritize themselves because they're originally from UK, and I get that the show originated from UK, but let's be honest, Doctor Who is kind of like a worldwide show, you know. And I wasn't too keen on something that was said. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a little rant video aimed at them. We'll see what happens. Because I mean, if a show originates from a certain country or a continent, I mean, it's great that it brings more attention to its homeland or its home, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. But I think, like, especially if you're something like Doctor Who, which has spanned, 61 years, and it's something that is on Disney Plus streaming. It's something that has been on PBS, the public broadcasting service here in the States, for decades. I grew up on the original classic Doctor Who, you know, Tom Baker, John Pertwee. So, I mean, for me, it's something that's always been a part of me.
Doctor Who that you were behind the couch majority of the time watching it.
Well, see, with me, I was raised watching horror movies, so, like, that stuff didn't scare me. I remember watching that. I remember watching Red Dwarf, and I remember watching the original Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV show.
See, talking about Red Dwarf, that is probably one of my favourite sitcoms. I just love it.
And somehow they're still going. I don't know how they're going to justify, you know, Remmer just aging like beyond. Because if you ever seen a picture of him at a con, he's bald, basically. He's got a few combed over strands, and that's about it. Cat still looks great, and I mean, you know, obviously they age, but still classic Who, classic Dwarf. I mean, I think I have up to, like maybe series 10. I even have Back to Earth, but I haven't caught the more recent ones, but I still want to get those. But I mean, like, that's the kind of silly, crazy, insane stuff that, you know, you just love. Where's the friggin' Red Dwarf merchandise here in the States? There are none.
See, that is one thing that, before we go, that's one thing that I've always thinking is that why has no company ever thought about doing, like, Reaction doing the Red Dwarf figures or kind of that?
Well, even if they did a line... Hold on 1 second.
I know they've done like the Corgi stuff and all that for like the ships and all that, but they haven't technically give us. It'd be nice to have an action figure of Rimmer and.
Well, you know, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if a toy company took a line of obscure TV shows that were never explored merchandise, or maybe haven't been explored for a while. I mean, Red Dwarf. I mean, maybe there's not a whole lot you can do. You can do the core characters, maybe a couple alternates. You know. Maybe a playset or something. You know, you could do Starbug. I mean, come on, give us something, right? You could do Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the original one. Nothing against a rebooted movie. That was a fantastic, but you know, I would love to have the classic stuff. What was that? I mean, Buck Rogers from the 25th century, the one with Gil Gerard back in the late 70s. I would love to see someone kind of bring that back. Space 1999. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there that they could do. Time Tunnel. I mean, there's a lot of, well, that's very niche stuff, but I would love to see someone kind of explore that, you know?
Land of the Giants from.
Oh yeah, I used to watch on the old school Sci-Fi channel. Here, they used to have that Land of the Giants, Time Tunnel, Quantum Leap. What they would do is like each day was like a nonstop marathon of a specific show. Like you'd have Sliders, you'd have Time Tunnel, you'd have Lost in Space one day. You know, you had all that stuff, and it was just awesome because like in summertime, like okay, I'm gonna stay home all day and just watch a block of like from 8 in the morning until like 4 in the afternoon before they switch over to other content. I would just have a whole show to watch. And it was easy because I could throw a VHS and a VCR and like an 8-hour, 10-hour tape, and I could just tape those episodes. Bam, there you go.
The good.
I would do that and then put the other VCR on and then just edit the commercials out like a crazy psychotic person until we had DVDs. But I'm out of here. Baz, you have yourself a great night. Get yourself some rest, some sleep. We'll see you on the next one. And guys, if you're still watching me for some psychotic reason, if you like this stream, give it a thumbs up. Please let me know your comments, your questions, your concerns about the Haslab, about the ECTO. I want to know, one, did you back it? And if not, why did you not? Was it space? Was it money? Was the holiday timing an issue? Also, I want to know how, if you did back it, or if you were thinking of backing it, how were you thinking of displaying it? I really want to know this. And guys, as always, if you have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram, you have a Twitter, you have a Etsy store, you have a Twitch, you have whatever kind of content you are making, you want to be featured on the Tuesday Night Talks, the stream, the portal is always open, guys. Just send me an email at davesdimension78@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at daves_dimension on Instagram, and just message me and we will set up some times, guys. We got a lot to come through. I kind of want to do my picks for movies coming up, but usually me and Dre do movies together, so maybe we'll do another Outer Dimensions, maybe for the new year. We'll see what happens. His schedule and my schedules, they are a bit kind of hard to plan things, but we're going to work things out soon. We had Dre on last week. We did our own our top picks for the figures, but we'll see what happens. But guys, until next time, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busted. And I'm always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own